Imagine handing your future self a clean, quiet mind, like paying a tiny fee once and never seeing another bill. That fee is a single decision. You make it one time, lock it in, and stop reopening the tab in your head. Ever notice how the day steals your focus in tiny bites? Not from big problems, but from the little should I, shouldn't I moments that keep popping up. What if those moments never arrived? Here's the shortcut. Turn choices into policies. Not rigid rules that box you in, but simple defaults that save your energy. A policy says, I've decided, so future you doesn't have to. Think about mornings. If you choose breakfast fresh every day, your brain starts the day with a meeting. Set a policy. Same simple breakfast on weekdays, and you've just reclaimed a slice of attention. It's not about the eggs, it's about the quiet. Wardrobe stress. Decide once that your weekday outfit lives within a tiny range. Fewer options, faster exits, less second guessing. You'll feel lighter before you even step outside. Money? Automate a small transfer every payday. You never debate whether to save because it already happened. That one choice becomes 100 quiet victories while you sleep. Tech distractions. Put your most addictive apps behind a password you don't know by heart, or move them off your home screen. The barrier is the policy. The pause is the win. Sleep. Set a non-negotiable phone bedtime. The charger lives across the room. Lights go low at the same hour, and you get your attention back tomorrow morning. It sounds simple because it is. The trick is picking the friction point. Where do you feel the daily drag? Food, fitness, email, spending, screens. Name one. Now, write one sentence that begins with always or never. Always prep lunch when you clean the kitchen. Never schedule meetings before mid-morning. Always check messages in 2 blocks, not all day. Keep it short, clear, and easy to spot in real life. Then make the policy real. Put the object where the action happens, the gym bag by the door, the grocery list on the fridge, the savings on autopilot. You remove the negotiation by setting the stage. What if you break it? You won't be perfect. That's fine. Policies survive exceptions because they're default settings, not punishments. If you slip, you return. No guilt, just back on track. You can do this today. Choose one decision that, if settled forever, would give you back a quiet hour every week. Tie it to something you already do, like brushing your teeth or making coffee, so it hooks into your day without effort. One decision. Many wins. Close the open loops. Create calm once, and you'll keep collecting the interest tomorrow, next week, and quietly all year. Ever notice how your coffee cools while your standards heat up? You wait for the perfect moment, the perfect plan, and meanwhile, the moment moves on. Here's the shortcut most people miss. Good enough, done now, beats perfect, done later. Think of good enough like a bridge made of quick planks. It's not fancy, but it gets you across today so you can reinforce it tomorrow. That's the point. Movement first, polish after. What does good enough look like in real life? It's the 2-line email that keeps a project alive instead of the unwritten masterpiece. It's a 10-minute workout on the living room floor when the ideal routine would have taken an hour you don't have. It's a rough sketch of your idea on a napkin, then one call to someone who needs it. You're not lowering the bar, you're lowering the friction. Perfection is a delay tactic dressed like a standard. It feels noble. It sounds careful. But notice the pattern. The longer you wait for perfect, the heavier the start feels. Good enough snaps that weight in half. Here's a simple way to use the shortcut today. Pick the smallest version that still helps someone, even if that someone is you. Set a short timer, 5 minutes. Start before you're ready and stop when it's useful, not when it's flawless. Ship it, then circle back later to upgrade. Worried good enough will make your work sloppy? Remember this twist. People can't benefit from what you never release. Rough drafts can evolve. Blank pages can't. Once it exists, you can edit, refine, and improve. Before it exists, you can only imagine. Try it with food. Instead of the perfect meal plan, grab 3 simple ingredients you know and cook something you'll actually eat. Try it with learning. Instead of planning the ultimate study system, read 3 pages and explain them out loud. Try it with relationships. Instead of crafting the perfect message, send a kind sentence right now. These small actions compound. They create momentum, and momentum makes everything easier. What about standards? Keep them. Just sequence them. Ship first, sharpen second. You'll be surprised how fast quality rises once reality starts giving you feedback. It's easier to steer a moving bike than a parked one. Ask yourself, what's the smallest useful step I can take in the next 5 minutes? Pause. Feel the answer, then take it. Because the door that's slightly open is easier to walk through than the one you keep polishing. Good enough isn't lazy. It's strategic. It tells your future self, I'll meet you there with something to build on. And when you do that today, and tomorrow, and the day after, you'll look up and realize something wild. The shortcut wasn't a trick. It was a habit. Your to-do list is lying to you, not because it's evil, but because it's loud. The top lines shout, the bottom lines whisper, and the whispers are usually the work that actually moves your life forward. Here's the quiet cheat. Reverse it. Write your list like you always do, then flip it. Start from the bottom. It feels wrong for about 10 seconds, then it feels like power. Because you're not letting urgency drag you around. You're choosing what matters. Psychologically, that small reframe turns you from reactive to intentional, which lowers internal resistance and unlocks momentum. Picture this. You open your notes and see the usual stack. Clear emails, order that thing, tweak a slide, outline the proposal, call a friend back. The easy instinct is, I'll clear emails first so I can breathe. Hours disappear, inbox is tidy, brain is fried, and the proposal, the piece that actually moves the needle, still waits. Now run the reverse. Start with the proposal. Set a tiny commitment, 15 focused minutes, no tabs. You outline the core idea, drop one strong section, and suddenly the day feels different. You're ahead, not catching up. When you shift the order, the same tasks exist, but the story you're living changes from checking boxes to creating outcomes. That perspective flip is the lever. Why does it work? Our brains love quick wins, little dings of done. But those dings can keep you stuck on the surface. When you choose one meaningful task first, you give yourself autonomy and a sense of progress worth protecting. You've set the tone so the smaller tasks fall in line instead of hijacking your energy. A simple mental shift like this, grounded in how we respond to reframing, can reshape what you accomplish in a day. Try a test run tonight. Jot tomorrow's list, just like always. Circle the item that would make you proud if it were the only thing you finished. In the morning, reverse the list and do that one first. Before messages, before errands, before the scroll. Tiny window, strong move. Worried something urgent will explode? If it truly matters, it'll still be there 20 minutes later. And you'll be steadier because you've already honoured the important key. That steadiness spreads. Calls feel calmer. decisions come faster, the day stops feeling like a chase. Use the reverse when your list is long, when your motivation is low, or when you keep delaying the same meaningful project. It's not about doing more, it's about doing the right thing first. Think of it like flipping a map to face the way you're actually walking. Same streets, new clarity. Start at the end so you can finish with what counts. The rest is just noise. The bottom line becomes the first move, and that changes everything. Steal tomorrow's calm by spending a tiny slice of Sunday right now. What if Monday didn't feel like a wall, but a moving walkway? Here's the Sunday reset shortcut, the little loop that makes the whole week glide. It's simple, it's fast, and it feels almost unfair. Start with energy, not effort. Put on 2 songs you love, medium vibe. While they play, do a quick surface sweep. Clear the kitchen counter, the desk, and the entry table. Only those 3 spots. When those are clear, your brain reads order, and that message ripples through everything else. Next, launch a laundry cycle. Don't sort your whole life. One load, lights and darks if you must, but just start. Movement creates momentum, and hearing that washer hum is your first quiet win. Now, the fridge check. Toss the obvious stuff. Keep the good, and pick a simple meal rhythm for the week. 1 big batch you can heat up, 1 quick go-to protein, and 1 grab-and-go snack you actually like. That's it. You've lowered decision fatigue before it even shows up. Slide to your calendar. Look at the next 7 days with soft eyes. Cancel 1 thing that doesn't need to happen. Confirm 1 thing that does. Copy addresses or links into the event notes so you're not searching later. If you want to go pro, lay out 1 outfit for Monday, so morning. You says, thanks. Now the money minute. Open your banking app, glance at the week's bills, and set 1 small reminder for anything due. You're not budgeting your entire year. You're giving your week a stable floor. Here comes the secret sauce, the golden 15. Take 15 relaxed minutes and write your Monday 3, 2, 1. 3 non-negotiables you'll finish no matter what. 2 nice-to-haves if time opens up. 1 tiny reward you'll enjoy when those 3 are done. The list is small by design, so you get traction, then momentum, then pride. Add a 30-second kindness to future you. Fill a water bottle and put it where you'll see it. Pack earbuds in your bag. Charge devices. These tiny resets feel like nothing, but they remove friction you'd otherwise trip on. Close with a soft landing. Dim the lights. Set your phone to Do Not Disturb. And pick something slow for the last 10 minutes of the night. Stretching, reading, or a shower. You're telling your nervous system, we're safe, we're set, we're good. Will everything go perfectly? Probably not. But you won't need perfect. You'll have structure. You'll have a handful of smart, low-effort moves that turn Monday from heavy to light. So, take that tiny slice of Sunday. Build your calm, stack your little wins, and step into the week feeling a little smug, a little grounded, and a lot more in control. That's your shortcut. Everyone else shows up on time. You show up before time notices. That tiny gap, it sends a loud message without you saying a thing. The move is simple. Be the person who's early by a few minutes. Not absurdly early. Just early enough to be the calm center when everyone else is rushing. Psychologically, small cues stack fast. Predictability and first impressions tell people if you're someone they can count on. Here's what it looks like in real life. You walk into a meeting room a little ahead of the crowd. You find your seat, skim the agenda, shake off the commute. Someone pokes their head in and goes, "Oh, you're here already." You smile, Yeah, just settling in. No speech, no pitch, but you've already said, I'm reliable, silently. Being early buys you 3 quiet wins. First, it lowers your own stress, so you sound clearer and look composed. Second, it gives you margin for the little surprises, a dead battery, a missing file, a coffee spill. And here's the twist. People start trusting you with small things, which turn into bigger things. Can you help me set up the projector? Turns into, can you lead the first part? That's not luck. That's compounding trust. This isn't about being a teacher's pet. It's respect for the people, for the moment, for your word. When you're early, you tell everyone, including yourself, I keep promises. That's a quiet identity shift, not a scheduling hack. Use it anywhere. A first day at a new job, arrive a touch early, learn the space, say hello to the receptionist by name. A coffee with a friend, show up ahead, grab the good table, breathe, a class, a dentist appointment, even a flight gate. Being early lets you choose, not chase. Worried about wasting time? Bring a tiny task you can knock out while you wait. Reply to one message, skim a page, jot tomorrow's top 3. The key is a small, self-contained win that makes the buffer feel useful. And if you're thinking, but traffic, build in a simple buffer. Aim to arrive 5 minutes sooner than you think you need. If you get there early, you just brought back calm. The mindset shift is this. It's not about squeezing more minutes out of the day. It's about signaling who you are before you ever speak. Early whispers, I'm steady. Early says, I respect your time and mine. Early proves it. So make it your quiet habit. Pick one recurring moment this week and move your arrival up just a notch. Let the room meet your promise before your mouth even opens. That's the always early shortcut. Put a bouncer at the door of your day. Not a person, a rule. It doesn't ask for ID. It just says, nope, this doesn't get in. That's the auto decline. It beats willpower because willpower wakes up late, gets tired and wants a snack. Auto decline doesn't. It's a pre-decided guardrail that protects your focus before temptation even shows up. Here's the idea. Decide once what matters most right now. Then set default no's for everything that doesn't serve it. Not later, not when you're already overwhelmed. It's the difference between putting cookies in a locked cabinet and trying to stare them down on the counter. Sounds harsh? It's not. It's kind. It's kind to your future self, your energy, and the few things that actually move your life forward. Start small. Your calendar can auto-decline any meeting without a clear agenda or a direct outcome. If there's no purpose, it doesn't pass the door. Your email can auto-archive cold requests unless they match a short list of priorities. Your phone can silence unknown numbers and send a simple reply. Thanks for reaching out. Right now I'm not taking calls. Email me with specifics. You're not blocking people, you're blocking noise. And here's the twist. Auto-decline isn't only tech, it's language. Keep a ready phrase for invitations that don't fit. Try this. I appreciate the invite. I'm focused on 3 commitments, so I have to pass. Firm, warm, done. If it's a maybe, it's a no unless it serves the focus. That's the rule. But what if you miss out? You will, on clutter, on the slow drip of other people's urgency, on the 20-minute favours that swallow your afternoon. You'll miss those, and you'll gain something better. Clean, uninterrupted blocks where hard things actually get finished. Picture a day with 2 or 3 deep focus windows, each protected by your auto-decline. No frantic tab switching, no polite replies you resent, just you, your top work, and a quiet runway. That's not a fantasy. That's a boundary. A quick gut check helps. Does this request give energy or drain it? Does it move the one thing that matters or just look productive? If you hesitate, the bouncer steps in. Not tonight. People will adjust. They'll learn your edges and they'll respect them because you respect them. And when a true yes shows up, you'll have the time and the energy to lean in fully. A clean yes needs 1,000 quiet no's. So set it once. Calendar rules, email filters, DND on your phone. A default phrase ready on your tongue. Choose your top focus, then let auto-decline carry the weight. You don't need more willpower, you need fewer decisions. Protect your focus like it's oxygen, because it is. Picture a snowball the size of a walnut rolling down a hill you almost didn't notice. It looks small, slow, kind of unimpressive, and then halfway down, it's unstoppable. That's the one thing shortcut. Pick one needle-moving action each day and let it roll. Not 10 goals, not a buffet of projects. Just one. Do it first. Do it fully. And let everything else line up behind it. Sounds too simple, right? Here's what it looks like in real life. You wake up, glance at your phone, and the day grabs you by the collar. Messages, tasks, half-finished tabs. By evening, you've touched 20 different things and finished almost none. Now, rewind. Same day, same you, but you choose one clear action that matters most. You open one tab, not 10. You work until that single loop is closed. Email can wait. Tiny fires can flicker. That one thing gets done. The rest of the day changes tone because momentum has a direction. Another example. Say you're learning guitar. Most people hop from song to song, riff to riff, and feel stuck. Try this instead. Choose one song. Every day, nail one tricky bar. Slow, clean, and no detours. In 2 weeks, the song plays you. Then you pick the next one. The skill compounds because the attention compounds. Or fitness. Forget the perfect plan. Make one promise, one focused set you never skip, done early. Once you begin, the second set usually tags along. If it doesn't, you still kept the chain alive. That's momentum's favourite snack. Here's the twist. Doing one thing isn't small, it's a lever. When you go all in on one action, you remove the hidden tax of switching. You trade scattered energy for concentrated force. Psychologically, your brain loves routine and hates friction. Fewer switches lower resistance and build a clean sense of progress, which makes tomorrow's start easier than today's. That's why the gains look slow until they don't. So how do you pick your one thing? Ask, if this were the only thing I did today, would I still be proud when I go to bed? If yes, make it visible. Put it where you can't miss it. Do it when your energy is clean, not after the day has already eaten your focus. Guard it with a little stubbornness. Say no without a paragraph of apology. Finish the loop, then let the rest of the day fill in around it. Will you be behind on some tasks? Sure, but you'll be ahead on the thing that actually moves your life, and that shifts how you carry yourself. Less frantic, more grounded, a little more you. The real shortcut isn't speed, it's direction. One thing done daily turns effort into a slope you can slide down instead of a wall you have to climb. That tiny snowball. Give it a push, then keep pushing. The hill will do the rest. Your future self doesn't need more courage, just fewer decisions. When the heat is on, your brain loves to sprint into fight, flight, or freeze. It's not a flaw, it's biology. So give your brain a shortcut. A small, prepared answer you can reach for in the moment. One line that buys you time, sets a boundary, or pivots the conversation without your heart racing off a cliff. What does that sound like? Try this when your mind goes blank. Give me a moment to think. Simple pause, no panic, then follow with a clean next step. Here's what matters most. If someone pushes for a quick yes, use a protection line. I'm not able to commit to that right now. Then anchor it. Let me check what I've already promised so I don't drop the ball. You're not stalling. You're choosing on your terms. When criticism hits hard, you can diffuse the sting and get clarity. Got it? What's the single change that would improve this most? Notice the shift. You moved from personal attack to useful detail. If a question feels like a trap, step sideways. Before I answer, can I clarify what outcome you're aiming for? That word, outcome, pulls both of you toward the goal, not the drama. Awkward small talk? Offer a gentle steer. I love a good story. What's the best thing that happened to you this week? You'll watch the energy lift. A boundary with kindness sounds like this. I value our relationship, and I need to pass on that. Clear, warm, done. You honored them without abandoning yourself. In negotiations, calm the tempo. I want this to work for both of us. What would make it a win on your side? Here's the twist. The moment they answer, you get a map. And when you make a mistake, claim it without collapse. You're right, I missed that. Here's how I'm fixing it. Accountability builds trust faster than perfection ever could. So how do you build your set? Spot your repeat moments, pressure points that show up again and again. Write one short line for each. Keep it plain and speakable. Then add a bridge, one follow-up line that points forward. Practice out loud while you walk, or in the car, or while making coffee. You're training your voice to find the words even when your pulse jumps. Worried it'll sound scripted? It won't, because you'll deliver it like a conversation. Steady pace, normal tone, eyes up. The prepared answer isn't a cage, it's a runway. It gets you airborne so you can improvise once you're steady. Imagine tomorrow. The tough question comes. Your chest tightens, but your line arrives right on time. You buy yourself a breath. You choose your path. That's the shortcut. Not more hustle, not more willpower. Just a pocket phrase that returns you to calm, gives you choice, and turns pressure into a door you can walk through. Imagine your inbox like a clean kitchen counter. Every day, someone dumps mail, menus, coupons, and a few important letters right on top. You don't want to cook on that. You want space. So you add a drawer. That drawer is your second inbox, the place where the mess goes, so the counter stays clear. Here's the shortcut. Keep your main inbox sacred. That's where only high-signal messages land. People you know, projects that matter, decisions you're waiting on. Everything else slides into a second inbox that lives off to the side. Same email app, different lane. Out of sight, not out of mind. Why does this work? Because attention is a scarce resource. When your main inbox shows only the few things that deserve you, you make faster decisions, you respond sooner, and you feel less overwhelmed. The chaos is still there. It's just contained. How do you set it up? Create a simple side channel. You can use a separate address, an alias, or a label with rules, and whatever your email tool calls it. Route all newsletters, promos, receipts, shipping alerts, password resets, forms, and hey, just checking in messages to that second spot. If you're not sure whether something belongs, default to sending it there. You can always promote it later. Worried you'll miss something important? Give yourself a safety net. Keep a subtle badge or a quiet summary, not noisy notifications. Then set a tiny routine. Check the second inbox on your term, maybe late morning and late afternoon. Open, scan, and ask 3 quick questions. Is this truly important? Does it deserve my main inbox? Can I handle it in under a minute? If it's vital, promote it to your main inbox and handle it there. If it's quick, do it, then archive. If it's noise, unsubscribe or mute. Future you will thank you. Here's the twist. The second inbox isn't about hiding forever. It's about staging, like a mudroom for your messages. Dirt stays by the door, clean shoes step inside. You'll still process everything, just in the right room, at the right time. You'll notice the shift fast. Fewer dings, fewer "what am I even looking at" moments. More clear starts, more clean finishes. Your main inbox becomes a calm runway. Planes land, planes take off. No traffic jam. Give it a week. Protect the main inbox like it's prime real estate. Push the rest to your second inbox and let your brain breathe. Less clutter, more clarity, and a little everyday calm that feels almost unfair. Your future self just took the menu out of your hands and whispered, "Get the usual." Not because you're boring, but because you're smart. Here's the move. Pick a default order for the places you visit all the time. Coffee shop, lunch spot, even your go-to takeout, and stop auditioning your taste buds every single time. Variety feels like freedom, but when you're staring at 30 options, that freedom is really a sneaky tax on your morning energy. The default order shortcut removes the tax. Picture two people in line. One is scanning the board, eyes darting, second-guessing, oat milk or almond, hot or iced, large or, wait, what's seasonal? The other steps up and says, the usual. Done. No mental tug of war. No tiny stress spikes. They're already moving on with their day. Psychologically, this works because trimming trivial choices protects your focus and willpower, so you can spend them where it counts, on work that matters, conversations you care about, and decisions that actually change your life. When you reduce low-stakes decisions, you lower friction and keep your brain fresh for the high-stakes ones. And here's the twist. A default isn't a cage. It's a runway. You can take off any time you want. If something new catches your eye, grab it, enjoy it, and then either upgrade your default or treat it like a one-off adventure. The point isn't never change. The point is not spending 5 minutes deciding when it doesn't really matter, day after day after day. Try it in more places than food. Set a default work playlist that drops you into focus without fiddling. A default breakfast that fuels you without thought. A default outfit that makes you feel sharp without rummaging. A default template for emails you send all the time. They're small, but together, quietly, these defaults give you back hours of calm. Worried you'll miss out? What if you're missing out right now on the stuff you actually care about because your brain's fogged from 100 mini decisions before noon? If you want novelty, schedule novelty. Make Friday the day you experiment. Make date night the time you try the wild card. Keep spontaneity where it shines, not where it steals. Here's the reframe. It's not about being predictable. It's about being present. Not about shrinking your world, but about sharpening it. You're not cutting out joy. You're cutting out the static that drowns it. So the next time you hit that familiar counter, let future you do the talking. Say the usual with a little smile and walk away with your energy intact. Then spend that extra clarity on the phone call you've been avoiding, the idea that's been nudging you, the person right in front of you. Order once. Save daily. That's the default order shortcut. Picture a closet that never argues with you. You slide one hanger, grab your go-to combo, and you're out the door looking put together, with zero mental tug of war. Here's the quiet shortcut most people miss. Repeat your outfits on purpose. Not because you lack options, but because you value energy. When your clothes are on autopilot, your mornings feel lighter, your choices get sharper, and your look becomes a signature. Consistency reads as confidence. It says, I know what works. Worried it'll be boring? It won't if you design it right. Start with a base uniform that flatters you. Maybe it's a dark tee, clean jeans and simple sneakers. Maybe it's a button-down, tailored pants and low boots. Keep the silhouette steady, then rotate texture and tiny accents. A knit one day, a crisp cotton the next. A watch here, a bracelet there. Same outline, small shifts. It's rhythm, not repetition. Pick a short palette. 2 or 3 colours you love and that play well together. Black and olive, navy and stone, cream and khaki. When everything matches everything, you can grab anything. That's the magic. Less mixing, more matching. Double down on your winners. If a tee fits perfectly, get a second. If a jacket makes you feel unstoppable, keep a twin in a different shade. You're not chasing novelty, you're stacking reliability. Think of it like meal prep for your style. One decision, many calm mornings. And here's the twist. The more you repeat, the more others see you as intentional. People don't track your outfits like you do. They remember your presence, your voice, your energy. When they do notice, they read it as a signature. That's your quiet brand. Steady, clear, you. Make it practical. Set a simple laundry rhythm so your uniform is always ready. Hang what you wear at eye level and box the rest. Take mirror photos of 3 or 4 go-to looks and save them in an album. On foggy mornings, you've got instant cues. For travel, pack a tiny kit of your staples so your look follows you without thinking. Does this mean never switch it up? No. Keep one wildcard piece for days. You want a shot of colour or a bolder mood, a scarf, a patterned shirt, a standout sneaker. Because when the base is stable, the flair lands better. If you feel a twinge of fear, like you'll be judged, breathe. This is about reclaiming your attention. You're trading outfit anxiety for focus, clutter for clarity, noise for style that actually works. That's not laziness, that's smart, that's effortless by design. So give yourself 1 week. Choose a base uniform tonight. Lay it out for tomorrow. Let your closet do the heavy lifting while you save your best energy for the work, the people, and the moments that matter. You'll look consistent, you'll feel calmer, and you'll wonder why you didn't take this shortcut sooner. Steal this. Make your life look like a train timetable, even if behind the scenes it's a carnival ride. Here's the shortcut. Pick one pattern, make it predictable, and let it do the heavy lifting. Predictability is a spotlight. It makes you look disciplined, even on the days you're faking it. What does predictable look like? It's the same start signal every day, like a quiet coffee at the same time. It's the same tiny action after that coffee, like opening the same dock or tying your shoes for a quick walk. It's announcing one thing you'll always do on a certain day, like a weekly update on Tuesday afternoons. The pattern becomes your brand. People see the rhythm and assume the rest is tight too. Why does it work? Because humans love patterns. Your routine is a steady drum in a noisy room. That beat buys you trust. And here's the twist. Once others trust your rhythm, you start trusting yourself. You start showing up, not because you're hyper-motivated, but because the train already left the station and you're just hopping on. Think anchor before ambition. The anchor is the smallest version that's too easy to skip. 1 paragraph, 1 page open, 1 5-minute sweep of the desk. Too simple. Good. The anchor isn't about progress. It's about the signal. The signal tells your brain, we're the kind of person who does this, and tells everyone else, you can count on me. Make it public enough to matter. Tell a friend you'll send a 3-line check-in at 9 a.m. each weekday. Put the recurring block on your calendar and never move it unless something truly rare happens. If you break it, repair it fast. Show you noticed. That keeps the trust intact. Routines work best when they piggyback. Link your anchor to something you already do without thinking. After brushing your teeth, you stretch. After lunch, you review your top 3 tasks. After your evening walk, you prep tomorrow's clothes. The cue does the remembering, so you don't have to. Worried it'll feel boring? Good news, predictable isn't about living a grey life. It's about automating the boring parts, so your creativity runs wild elsewhere. When your starting rituals never change, your mind gets to play with what happens next. Start tiny. Start today. Choose one anchor. Tie it to a cue you already trust. Announce it, even if only to yourself. Then ride that train. Same track, same time, until people start saying you're so disciplined. You'll smile because you know the truth. It's not discipline. It's design. It's the quiet, repeatable beat that makes everything else sound like music. Predictable routine, big signal, low effort, high returns. That's the shortcut. Your time leaks through tiny yeses. Plug it with a single word, said first no. Here's the move. When a request lands, email, call, tap on the shoulder, lead with no. Not rude, not dramatic, just firm. No puts you in the driver's seat before anyone else grabs the wheel. It buys you a pause, and in that pause, you get your options back. What happens when you say no first? You create a boundary. People feel the edge and adjust. And weirdly, they respect you more. Will people get upset? Sometimes. But notice what else happens. The people who value you will start making better requests, clearer deadlines, real priorities. You'll trade noise for signal. No is a frame, not a door slam. Follow it with a small doorway on your terms. Try this. No, I can't take that on today. If it's essential, I can look at it Thursday morning. Hear that? The power stays with you. You set the time, the scope, the pace. A friend asks you to go out when you need rest. No thanks. Tonight's a recharge night. Let's pick a day next week. A co-worker pushes a last-minute task onto your plate. No, I'm at capacity. If you need help, I can swap something else or we schedule it for tomorrow. A client tries to sneak in extra work. No, that's outside the scope. Here's what I can do within the current plan. Notice the rhythm. No first, then a path you control. That tiny sequence changes the whole conversation. You're not rejecting the person. You're protecting your focus, your health, your promises. Afraid you'll miss opportunities? Here's the twist. Saying no first filters for the right opportunities. The ones worth a thoughtful yes will wait a beat, and they'll get a better version of you. Because a yes that stretches you too thin isn't a gift. It's a future apology. Worried about sounding harsh? Use a soft tone, warm words, firm edges. No, I'm not available right now. Appreciate you thinking of me. No, that's not a fit for me. Cheering you on. You can be kind and still be a wall. When someone pressures you with urgency, remember their emergency isn't your calendar. No, I can't drop everything. If it truly can't wait, tell me what you'd like me to delay. That line alone puts the weight back where it belongs. Start small. Use it once today. A sales pitch? A calendar invite? A favor you'd say yes to out of habit. Lead with no. Then offer a clear, calm alternative if you want to. Because the shortcut to freedom isn't more time. It's fewer automatic yeses. Say no first. Keep your power. Then choose your yes like it matters, because it does. Here's a cheat code most people never use. Double dip your dopamine. What if every boring task paid you back twice? The trick is simple. Pair a tiny, in-the-moment pleasure with the chore, then lock a second, slightly bigger pleasure to the moment you finish. First reward lowers the friction. Second reward seals the win. Your brain starts craving the loop instead of dodging the work. Do the dishes with your favourite song in your ears, then celebrate with a warm cup of tea when the sink is clear. Sort laundry while a podcast you love plays. Then toss the fresh sheets on the bed and do that silly clean sheet jump. Tackle email while a candle burns next to you. Then step outside for a short breath of fresh air once your inbox hit's done. 2 hits, 1 task, a tiny satisfaction loop. Why does this work? Your brain chases patterns. Pleasure predicts action. When you feel a small good thing during the task, your resistance melts. When you get a second good thing after, your brain stamps the memory with worth it. Do that a few times, and your chores start to pull you in, not push you away. Set it up in 4 beats. Pick a sticky task. Choose a micro reward you can enjoy while you do it. Sound, scent, texture, movement. Choose a completion reward that's quick but meaningful. Tea, a stretch, a short walk, a few pages of a book. And here's the rule. Those rewards are exclusive. You only get them with that task. Scarcity makes the brain pay attention. Want a head start when you're really stuck? Flip it. Take a single bite of the reward first. 1 verse of the song, 1 sip of the tea, like a starter pistol, then do the job and finish with the second treat. It's a clean, gentle push. Keep the rewards small so the task stays the star. Make them healthy or neutral so you're not undoing your progress. Skip black hole rewards. No endless scrolling. Pick edges you can stop at. If a reward goes stale, rotate it. Music, scent, sunlight, a quick call to a friend, a handful of deep breaths. Variety keeps the loop alive. Anchor the loop with something visible. Drop a paperclip in a jar when you complete the pair. Scratch a tiny mark on a calendar. It's proof. Your brain loves proof. Will this make life instantly perfect? No. But it makes it easier. Consistently easier, which is how everything important gets done. So choose 1 chore, pair it with 1 micro joy and 1 completion treat. Start today. Double reward, double pull. Watch the boring things turn into little wins and then into a habit you actually look forward to. Make it easy, make it fun, make it a loop you can't wait to run again. Ever notice how a simple task sits quietly, then overnight it sprouts fangs? The email, the dish, the form, it grows teeth the longer you stare at it. Here's the antidote. Do something tiny right away before it bites. Call it the 2-minute shortcut. Not a marathon, not perfection. Just the smallest next move you can finish in about the length of 1 good song intro. Why does that work? Because action shrinks anxiety. Motion kills the monster. When you start, even small, your brain gets a quick hit of progress, and the task stops feeling like a threat. Fear loses its sharp edges. So what counts as small? Think resetting, not completing. If an email needs a long answer, send a 1-line acknowledgement. Got this, I'm on it. That's a reset. If the sink is full, don't scrub the world. Just rinse 3 plates and run water for the rest. Reset. If the workout feels impossible, set out your shoes and fill your bottle. Reset. The point isn't to finish yet. It's to flip the switch from stuck to moving. And here's the twist. Tiny actions create momentum. Momentum turns heavy tasks light. Light tasks get done almost by accident. Staring at a messy desk? Toss 5 obvious pieces of trash. Thinking about a big report? Open the document, type the title, and save it where it belongs. Dreading a phone call? Add the number to your contacts and draft the first sentence you'll say. That's all. You'll feel the door crack open. What about things that take longer than 2 minutes? Start them with a 2-minute move. Big project? Make a 2-line outline. Travel plans? Bookmark the flight page? Finances? Snap a photo of the receipt and label it. You're not being lazy. You're building a runway. Planes don't launch straight up. They roll first. Here's why this shortcut is unfair, in the best way. You'll beat people who wait for motivation by using motion to create it. You'll trust yourself more because you see yourself doing what you said you'd do, even if it's small. That trust compounds. Confidence is built in tiny deposits. Ask yourself, right now, what's one nagging thing within arm's reach? What's the smallest piece I can finish before I lose the nerve? Do that, then stop. Breathe, notice the relief. Tiny win secured, the monster shrinks. Tomorrow repeat. Same rule, same rhythm. 2 minutes here, 2 minutes there, and suddenly your day has fewer ambushes and more glide. You'll feel lighter because you're not carrying a pile of silent maybes. 2 minutes now beats 2 hours later. Small now, smooth later. And when the next task starts growing teeth, feed it a breadcrumb, fast, and keep walking. Ever notice how the house gets spotless when guests are 20 minutes away, but stays messy all week when it's just you? That's the magic of a promise that lives outside your head. When other people are watching, you move. Here's the shortcut. Pre-commit. Make the promise now, in public, so future you has no wiggle room later. It's like laying the tracks before the train arrives. Once the rails are down, momentum does the rest. Why does it work? Because identity is social. Say you're writing a book and you tell no one. It's a daydream. Tell one friend you'll send a page by Friday. You've stepped into a role. Tell 5 friends and put it on a shared calendar. You've stepped onto a stage. And on a stage, you show up. Start tiny. Announce one clear action, one clear deadline, and one clear witness. Not, I'll get fit, but I'm texting you a sweaty selfie after a 20-minute run on Tuesday. Not, I'll launch my business, but I'm sending a 2-sentence pitch to my cousin by noon. Small is sticky. Small gets done. Add a gentle sting. A consequence doesn't have to be cruel to be real. Give a friend a small donation you dislike, or promise to buy the group coffee if you miss. It's not punishment, it's friction. A little friction keeps the cart from rolling backward. Make it visible. A public checklist on your fridge, a pinned comment in your group chat, a simple post that says, "Goal locked, I'm sharing my draft by Friday." Visibility isn't about bragging. It's about creating a lighthouse you can't ignore. Worried you'll bite off too much? Flip the script. Pre-commit to less than you think you can do. 1 paragraph, 1 set, 1 phone call. The goal is to build a streak of kept promises. Once your reputation, with yourself and others, is I follow through, you can raise the bar. And here's the twist. Pre-commitment works on good behavior and guarding your time. Want to stop doom scrolling? Tell a friend you've deleted the app and you'll send a photo of the empty home screen tonight. Want mornings back? Book a quick check-in call at 7 with someone who also wants an early start. You're not relying on willpower. You're designing a trap for your excuses. A kind trap, but a trap. Use an escape hatch for life's curveballs. 1 skip token a week. 1 renegotiation before the deadline, not after. That keeps the system humane and keeps you honest. So choose 1 promise right now. Say it out loud. Send it to 1 person. Put it where you'll feel seen. Then let the future arrive and pull you forward. Tell the world first, even if your world is just one friend. And watch your feet do what your mouth already said. Picture a single domino tipping, then another, then 10 more. That little click becomes a rush. Momentum feels like magic, but it's just motion that keeps going, and you can start it on command. Here's the shortcut. Begin with a task so small it's almost silly. Then ride the spillover into the next thing. Wash one mug, and suddenly you're wiping the counter. Send one message, and somehow your inbox is lighter. It's not a fluke, it's a state shift. Your brain moves from idle to go, and that go doesn't like to stop. Ever notice how a made bed makes the whole room look cleaner? What if your day worked exactly like that? Start with a friction-free win. Tiny on purpose, 1 push-up. 2 sips of water, opening the dock, just opening it, and typing 1 sentence. The size isn't the point. The point is a fast yes. A yes that puts your body in motion and your mind in, I'm the kind of person who finishes. That identity echo is the fuel. You'll feel it. Now link your wins. Before you finish the first task, plant a bridge into the next. If you've just paid 1 bill, line up the second on the screen. If you've written a paragraph, drop a few bullet ideas at the bottom so next time you're not facing a blank page. Shoes by the door if you plan to walk. Pan on the stove if you plan to cook. Bridges remove the cold start. They say, keep rolling. And here's the twist. Protect the roll. Distractions will knock you sideways. When that happens, don't wrestle your way back. Reset with another tiny win. Stand up, stretch, take 3 slow breaths, then pick the smallest thread and pull. Treat momentum like a campfire. Feed it small, dry sticks first, then add the logs. Watch the trap, though. Don't choose a first task that drains you. The spillover should carry energy forward, not wring it out of you. Save the heavy lift for when you're already warm. Like a car in winter, let the engine hum before you floor it. Want this to repeat tomorrow. Plant your tomorrow's first domino tonight. Put the book on the pillow. Drop clean clothes by the bed. Pin a sticky note to your laptop that literally tells you the first tiny move. When you wake up, you're not deciding, you're doing. And doing is what creates the rush. So here's your move. Pick the easiest, most laughably simple task within arm's reach. Do it now, then immediately nudge the next one. Feel that little click. That's momentum. Let it spill, let it stack. And don't be surprised when a string of small wins suddenly makes the big thing feel inevitable. Start tiny, ride the wave, finish big. Your brain has a secret reset button, and it's not in an app. It's in the pause between tasks. You know that hazy moment when the words blur, tabs multiply, and you're reading the same line again? That's your brain asking for a tiny pit stop. Not a day off, a micro break. Think of it like a quick sip of water for your mind. Small, fast, refreshing, so you can keep going sharper than before. Here's the twist. Pushing through feels productive, but it actually leaks focus. The longer you grind without a pause, the more your attention frays, mistakes creep in, and the work slows down. A micro break flips that script. 1 minute of rest can buy you many minutes of clear, accurate thinking. So what counts as a micro break? It's simple. 1 to 2 minutes. Stand up, roll your shoulders, look out a window at something far away. Take 3 slow breaths. In through the nose, out longer than you inhaled. Shake out your hands, unclench your jaw. That's it. Back in, sharper. Don't have a window? No problem. Rub your palms together till they're warm and gently cover your eyes for 20 seconds. Let the light fade. Your eyes relax, your mind follows. Or try the sip and stretch. 1 sip of water, then reach both arms overhead, side to side. You'll feel your rib cage open and your thinking open with it. When should you break? Use the natural seams in your day. After you hit send on an email, 1 breath. Before a meeting, 30 seconds to stand. After a call, neck roll, shoulder shrug, done. If you like structure, set a soft chime every 25 minutes. When it rings, pause for 1 minute. You'll return with cleaner focus and steadier energy. Worried it looks like slacking? It's not. It's fuel. Athletes don't sprint every second. They recover so they can sprint again. Same principle. A short pause shifts your body out of stress mode, clears mental noise, and resets your attention so you can aim it where it matters. What if you only have 10 seconds? Use them. 1 deep breath. Eyes off the screen. Drop your shoulders. Even micro breaks add up. And here's a little secret. The moment you feel stuck or irritated is the perfect cue. That friction is your signal to step away for a beat, then come back smoother. Try a quick run through with me right now. Stand if you can. Inhale for a slow count of 4. Exhale for a slow count of 6. Twice more. Look at the farthest point in the room. Roll your shoulders left, right. Unclench your jaw. Great. Feel that shift? That's your brain switching from fog to focus. The shortcut isn't working longer. It's pausing smarter. Take tiny breaks, often. Protect your attention. And watch how much easier the hard stuff gets. Confession. I answer most messages in under 10 seconds. The trick isn't hustle. It's a template reply. Think of it like a ready-made outfit you love. You grab it, you look good, you move on. A template reply does the same for your inbox, your DMs, your texts. It turns obligations into seconds of work. You already know the messages that keep showing up. Can we reschedule? Are you available? Can you send that link? What's your rate? Do you have a minute for a call? Here's the move. Build a warm version you can reuse, then personalize with 1 sentence so it feels human. Start with a friendly opener. Hey, thanks for reaching out. Really appreciate it. That 1 line buys goodwill. Then add the core answer, short and clear. I'm tied up this week, but I can do Thursday afternoon. Or I'm not the right fit, but here's a resource that will help. End with a simple next step. If that works, reply yes, and I'll send the details. Or if not, share a couple times that suit you. That's it. 3 beats, warmth, answer, next step. Worried it'll sound robotic? Add a single custom detail, their name, the topic they mentioned, 1 line that proves you actually read their note. That tiny flourish turns a template into a kindness. Want examples you can steal right now? Reschedule. Hey, name, quick heads up. I'm running over today. I can do tomorrow morning or Thursday afternoon. Which one's easier? Boundary, but polite. Hey, name. Thanks for thinking of me. I keep calls for ongoing projects. If you'd like to share your top question here, I'll point you in the right direction. Follow-up nudge. Hey, name, just circling back on the dock. If it's still in progress, no rush. Give me a new target day and I'll plan around it. A clear no with value. Hey, name, I'm not available for this, but this guide is solid and should cover what you need. If you try it and get stuck, tell me where. I'll point you to the next step. See the pattern? Kind, brief, useful. No fluff, no guilt. And here's the twist. It's faster for them too. They get clarity, you get your time back. To make it instant, save each one as a snippet or text replacement. A short trigger word and boom, the whole message drops in. Then you tweak the name and the 1 custom line. Done. Why this works. Decisions drain energy. Templates remove decisions. You keep your tone steady, your boundaries clear, and your day moving. That feeling of inbox dread, it shrinks. So pick your top 5 repeat messages. Write one warm template for each. Add a closing that nudges a next step. Save them, use them, refine them once a month. You'll feel it. The pressure lifts, the pace smooths out, and your replies get kinder, faster, and more consistent. Spend your energy on the exceptions, not the repeats. The rest? Template it. Here's a weird truth. Half-done beats never begun. When your brain sees a mountain, offer it a hill. That's the half-effort shortcut. You shrink the task until your mind says, yeah, I can do that. Then you do exactly that. No more, no less. It feels almost silly. But silly is sneaky. Silly slips past the fear. Start by lowering the bar on purpose. Not forever, just to get motion. Perfection is a locked door. Momentum is the key you already have. What if you only did half? Would it still count? If it moves you forward, even 1 inch, it counts. Wash half the sink. Write 5 messy lines. Walk for 5 minutes. Open the document and title it. Send the rough draft with a clear, "This is a draft" note. The magic isn't the amount. It's the switch from 0 to something. 0 keeps you stuck. Something pulls you in. Here's the twist. Half effort often sparks full focus. Once you're moving, your brain warms up. Resistance fades, and you'll do a bit more without the drama. But even if you stop at half, you've still won. You've turned a task into a track record. A simple way to use it. Cut any task in half, then halve it again. Reading becomes 1 page. The workout becomes 1 stretch and 10 deep breaths. Decluttering becomes 1 drawer. You're building a rhythm, not chasing a record. Worried it'll make you lazy. It won't. It makes you consistent. And consistency is the engine that compounds. Think of it like priming a pump. Small, steady pressure brings the water up. Then the flow gets easier. There's a quiet confidence in small starts. You learn you can begin anywhere, with whatever energy you've got, and still create motion. That confidence carries over. You'll notice you procrastinate less because you're not negotiating with a giant, scary task. You're agreeing to a tiny, doable one. Here's a quick script you can borrow. Whisper it to yourself before you start. What's the smallest version I'll actually do? Do that. Then begin before your mind argues back. Start shabby. Start soft. Start now. And when the guilt shows up, because it will, remind yourself, done badly today beats done perfectly never. Practice beats pressure. Momentum beats motivation. So pick one thing. Make it laughably light. Do half and stop. Smile at the small win. Tomorrow do half again. Some days the half will turn into more. Some days it won't. Either way, you're stacking proof that you move. That's the real shortcut. Not talent, not hacks. Just the courage to lower the bar, touch the task, and let motion do what motivation can't. Half effort, whole life shift. Tell me how your battery's doing. No, not your phone, yours. If you're already glancing at your calendar like it's a bill you can't pay, here's the shortcut. Treat your energy like money. Every morning, imagine logging into your energy bank. You've got a balance, not infinite. Some days it's full, some days it's thin. The mistake isn't spending it. The mistake is pretending the balance doesn't exist. That's how burnout sneaks in, like overdraft fees you don't see until the end of the month. So what's the move? Make a simple energy budget. First, pick one big thing that truly matters, the one purchase you won't regret. Then choose a couple small tasks that are useful but cheap. Everything else? It goes on a wait list because you're not swiping your energy card for impulse buys today. Set a daily spending limit for your most draining habits. Back-to-back meetings, endless scrolling, inbox roulette, whatever spends you fast. Give each a cap, and when it's spent, it's done. You wouldn't keep shopping after your account hits 0, right? Same rule here. Now, deposits. Tiny ones count. A slow breath with your shoulders down. 1 minute of sunlight. A glass of water you actually finish. A walk to the end of the block. A laugh with someone who gets you. These are interest payments that grow your balance just enough to keep you in the black. They look small, but they compound. And here's the twist. Loans exist. Caffeine, pressure, adrenaline, they're energy credit cards. Swipe when you must, but mark the payback. If you borrow today, repay with extra sleep, a quiet hour, a real break. Debt is fine until it's stacked. Then the fees show up as brain fog, snappy moods, and that hollow "I'll do it tomorrow" voice. Try the envelope trick. Create 3 mental envelopes. Must do, restore me, and it can wait. If must do starts raiding, restore me, pause, you're robbing savings for rent. Not sustainable. Protect the restore me envelope like rent money. It's not optional, it's survival. Leave a little buffer, white space on your calendar that stays white. Call it the emergency fund. When the day throws a surprise expense at you, you'll have coverage, not panic. At night, do a 60-second audit. Where did you overspend? What actually paid you back? What looked cheap but drained you? Answer fast, no guilt, just data. Tomorrow's budget gets smarter because you're not guessing anymore. You don't need more hours. You need fewer overdrafts. Spend on what matters. Cap what leaks. Make tiny deposits all day and only borrow what you can repay. Start tomorrow with 1 small deposit. Water, breath, sunlight, then buy the day's one big thing with intention. Guard your energy the way you guard your money, and burnout stops sneaking up. It sees the closed sign and keeps walking. Here's a wild idea you can use today. Treat midweek like a soft reboot. Tap the button, watch the stress bar drop, and step back in with fresh fuel. Think about it. Monday gets the glory. Friday gets the victory lap. Wednesday sits in the middle, holding your half-finished plans and caffeine. What if that middle became your secret second beginning? Start small. 1 quiet breath, slow and deep, like you're dimming the lights for a moment. Then a quick brain dump. 2 minutes to spill every loose task, stray worry, an open tab from your head onto paper. Don't edit, don't judge. Just get it out. Now circle 1 must do. Not 5, not your whole to-do zoo. 1. The thing that moves the week forward, even if everything else slips. This is your anchor. When the day wobbles, you come back to this. Next, do a 2-minute surface sweep. Clear the desk, the counter, the coffee table where good intentions go to nap. Visual clutter equals mental static. A cleaner space whispers, "You're okay." Tackle messages with a ruthless 2-minute pass. Archive, mute, or delete anything that isn't urgent or kind. Your time is the gate. Guard it. Move your body for 1 minute. Stand. Roll your shoulders. Shake out your hands. Walk to the doorway and back. Motion tells your brain, we're not stuck. We're moving. That's the micro reset. It's short on purpose, like a cheat code you can hit without thinking. But you can stack it. Scan your calendar. Ask what can be cancelled, delegated, or done in half the time. Trim 1 commitment and you buy back peace. Notice the feeling of permission. It matters. Preload energy. Fill a water bottle. Set out a simple snack waiting for your late afternoon self. Future, you will say thanks. Set a tiny, bright finish line. A 10-minute walk at sunset. A favourite playlist while you cook. A call with someone who makes you laugh. A sweet reward makes the reset stick. What if the first half of the week was just rehearsal? What if the second half is performance? Say it out loud if it helps. The week is not over. I get a new start now. That's not denial, that's strategy. You're choosing the story you work inside. Here's the twist. Even when the plan crumbles, the reset doesn't. You can run it at lunch, after dinner, or right before bed. It's elastic. It meets you where you are. So when the week feels messy, hit the midweek reset shortcut. Breathe, brain dump. Choose one. Clear space. Prune noise. Move. Stack a small win. It's simple. It's fast. And it gives you that second new start before Friday. The unfair advantage hiding in plain sight. Borrow a minute from tomorrow. Hand it to yourself today. That's the future self shortcut. Do a tiny favor now, and tomorrow feels lighter. Not because life changed overnight, but because you did. Picture this. You wake up and your bag's packed. Keys are where they should be. A glass of water is already on your desk. It's like someone cared for you while you slept. That someone is you. Future you is just you, later. Treat them well, and something surprising happens. You start treating present you with more respect too. Why? Because when you help future you, you're saying, I'm worth planning for. That's not a task. That's identity. And identity is sticky. It changes how you show up right now. Start tiny. A one-breath reset before you leave a room. Put things back where they live. A quick note at the end of the day. Here's the first step for tomorrow, not the whole plan. Sneakers by the door, the pan you'll use for dinner already on the stove, the password written in the right place. Each move whispers, I've got you, to the person you'll be. Here's the twist. You can design the path, make the good thing easy, and the not so good thing awkward. Charge your phone across the room, so bedtime scrolling turns into bedtime sleeping. Put a book on your pillow so it's the first thing your hands touch. Stash cookies on the tallest shelf and cut fruit at eye level. You're not forcing yourself. You're shaping your defaults. Ever noticed how hard choices get at the end of the day? Decision fatigue is real. Pre-decide when your brain is fresh. Choose a default lunch for weekdays. Set out tomorrow's clothes before you brush your teeth. Write a simple if this, then that for your workouts. If it's raining, I do a living room routine. When it's time, you won't debate, you'll just follow the breadcrumb you left. What if you're overwhelmed already? Don't plan your whole life, plan the first inch. Open the doc you need and type the title. Put the form on the counter and add your name. Fill the water bottle and put it where you'll trip over it. A 10-second favour for future you beats a 10-minute guilt spiral for present you. And here's the magic. You start to trust yourself. Trust turns into momentum. Momentum turns into identity. You stop asking, will I feel motivated? And start asking, what favour can I do now? That question is the shortcut. What's one thing your future self would thank you for today? Set a tiny trap for success. A note on the door that says, Jim. A reminder that pings before the decision, not after. A calendar block that protects your focus like a fence. Small, visible, obvious. Do this once and you'll get a small win. Do it daily and you'll build a quiet kind of power. Not loud, not flashy, just you, showing up for you. Leave the lights on for tomorrow. When you walk in, you'll see it. You cared, and when you feel cared for, you make better choices now. That's the shortcut. That's how life gets easier. Here's the strangest calendar invite you'll ever send yourself. Worry on purpose at a set time. Sounds backwards, right? But worry is like glitter. If you let it loose, it sticks to everything. Appointments, meals, sleep. Schedule it, and it stays in one container. Here's the shortcut. Pick a small daily window, say 10 to 15 minutes, and call it worry time. Same time each day if you can. When a worry shows up at noon, or on the commute, or right before bed, tell it, not now. Your turn is coming. Jot it down on a list, a sticky note, your phone, whatever's easy. The list is the holding pen. The worry gets acknowledged, but it doesn't get your whole day. Why does this work? Your brain craves certainty and loves a plan. When you say, we'll handle this at worry time, you give your mind a finish line so it stops sprinting everywhere else. What happens during the window? Open the list. Read each worry out loud, slow and steady. If it's actionable, shrink it to the tiniest step you can take. Send an email, set a reminder, check a number. If it's not actionable, give it 30 seconds, breathe and let it sit. If the thought tries to spiral, try this line. Thanks, mind. I get you're trying to keep me safe. You're still in charge. Then 2 bonus moves. First, the then what test. Imagine the worst case. Quickly, then ask, and then what would I do? You'll find a path, even if it's not pretty. A call you'd make, a friend you'd ask, a plan B you forgot you had. Second, a closeout ritual. Say, worry time is over, stand up. Pour water, switch a light. A tiny signal tells your body, we're done. But what if a monster worry barges in at the wrong time? Ask one question. Is there a real, immediate action needed right now? If yes, take it. Call, cancel, step in. If not, park it on the list. You're not avoiding, you're sequencing. Will it feel strange at first? Absolutely, that's okay. New boundaries always do. What changes when you stick with it? Focus returns. You stop replaying the same loop during work, or dinner, or the moment your head hits the pillow. You trade scattered anxiety for contained attention. You get your day back. Picture this. A ping nudges an old fear. Instead of chasing it, you whisper, not now. You capture it and keep moving. Later, during your slot, you look it in the eye, calm, specific, brief. You do what you can. You release what you can't. Try it for 3 days. Put worry on the calendar. Give it a door and a doormat, and the rest of your life some space. 1 container, 1 window, and a quieter mind everywhere else. What if the fastest way to get more done is to be lazy on purpose? I'm talking about planned laziness. Not the kind where you vanish into a couch crater, but the kind that turns rest into a strategy. It's a switch you flip. When energy drops, you don't quit. You shift into a low gear mode that still moves the day forward. Here's the simple idea. For anything that matters, set a lazy floor. The floor is your minimum viable effort, the tiny, almost laughably easy version you can do, even when you're tired, distracted, or over it. 1 page, 1 paragraph, 1 set, 1 drawer, 1 call. The ceiling can be huge, but the floor is so small, your lazy you can't say no. Why does this work? Because resistance hates momentum. Even a tiny first step lowers the bar. And once you're in motion, you often do more without needing willpower. And if you don't do more, you still did the floor. That's progress without the drama. Want a practical way to lock it in? Pre-decide the lazy version in writing. When it's time to work out, I'll at least put on shoes and walk around the block. When I sit down to write, I'll at least open the draft and add 3 ugly sentences. When I feel stuck at my desk, I'll at least clear 3 emails. These are if-then cues. They keep you out of debates with yourself. Next, automate your recovery. Lazy doesn't mean sloppy, it means frictionless. Put water on your desk. Pre-chop fruit. Drop your gym bag by the door. Save templates, checklists, and default playlists. When your brain's running on low battery, Automation becomes a safety rail. No decisions, fewer excuses. Give yourself lazy zones on the calendar. Short blocks named maintenance, resets, or wandering. In those blocks, you're allowed to do the easy things: tidy, stretch, skim, prep, without guilt. It looks like idling, but it primes the engine for the next push. And here's the twist: schedule your rest first. Protect it like a meeting. Rest is not a prize for finishing. It's the fuel that lets you finish. Short walk, hot shower, quick nap, eyes closed for a handful of breaths. Planned laziness refills the tank before the tank screams empty. Worried it's a slippery slope? Use one simple guardrail. Never miss twice. If a day slips, the next day is a floor day. No self-punishment, just a gentle reset. The streak stays alive, even if it's small. Ask yourself right now, what's the lazy version of the thing you're avoiding? Do that. Then stop or keep going. Either choice is a win. Planned laziness isn't quitting. It's choosing the path with the least friction so your future self gets more of the right things done. When you design for your laziest moments, your best moments show up more often. That's the shortcut. That's how rest becomes strategy. You're cruising, ideas stacking perfectly, and then bam! The tiniest missing detail trips you. The shortcut key you half remember. The tag you always forget. The second step after the first. Momentum gone. Here's the move that saves your flow. Build a cheat sheet. Not a textbook, not a binder. A small living note that catches those sneaky gaps before they snag your day. Think of it like a runway checklist for your brain. When you sit down, it's right there, quietly saying, "Start here." When you stall, it whispers, "Do this next." And when you finish, it reminds you how to wrap cleanly so you can walk away without that lingering buzz of "what did I miss?" Why it works is simple. Your brain's great at creativity, not storage. Every time you hold a dozen steps in your head, friction creeps in. A cheat sheet offloads the clutter, so your mind can stay on the work, not the remembering. Keep it short. A handful of cues, not a wall of text. Verbs up front. Start, check, send, share. Place it where you live, beside your keyboard, on your lock screen, in the Notes app you actually open. If you move between places, keep a tiny paper version too. It's a safety net, not a museum piece. Make it specific to your stumbles. If writing emails is the drag, jot your go-to opening line, the 3 questions you always need to ask, and a sign-off you trust. If you edit video, list the order you import, label, trim, and color. If you cook, capture the time that pan needs to heat and the herb you always forget. If you pack for travel, write your essentials once so you never spend a frantic morning hunting charges again. Here's the twist. Use it at the start and the end. At the start, it jumps you straight into motion, no warm-up wasted. At the end, it closes the loop. Save, back up, name files clearly, set the next breadcrumb so tomorrow you starts hot. Updating is part of the deal. Anytime you stumble, add the fix. Anytime a step goes stale, cut it. This is a tool for momentum, not perfection. Worried it's cheating? Pilots use checklists. Surgeons use them. Chefs, stage managers, athletes, anyone who performs under pressure has a fast, reliable way to remember what matters. A cheat sheet isn't a crutch, it's craftsmanship. So pick one task, the one that eats your energy, and draft a 1-page cheat sheet today. Just the steps, the triggers, the lines you reuse. Put it where you'll see it. Try it once this week. Feel that? Less hesitation. Less, wait, what now? More flow. The small forgetfulness doesn't get to decide your pace anymore. Protect your momentum. Build the shortcut that keeps you moving, even on the messiest days. Your best ideas don't book an appointment. They show up in the doorway while you're tying your shoes, then slip away like they were never there. So here's the shortcut. Give ideas a place to land in the exact moment they appear. One tap. Voice note. Speak the thought before it dissolves. Picture this. You're walking the dog and a clean line for that project pops into your head. Tap your phone, say, draft opener, start with the client's worry, then show the quick win and stop recording. That's it. No perfect wording. No folder hunting. Just catch the spark while it's warm. Why does something so small work so well? Because friction kills memory. If the capture takes effort, your brain decides it can wait, and then it doesn't. Psychologically, when a behavior is easy and repeatable, your brain turns it into a reliable habit loop. The path of least resistance becomes the path you walk every day. Here's how to make it effortless. Put a voice note button on your home screen, or map it to a long press. Start every note the same way. A title in your voice, like Idea Tuesday morning, then one sentence that future you will instantly understand. Speak like you're texting a friend in a hurry. Then stop. Short beats stick. What about the mess later? You can tidy in batches. Once a day, skim your notes, star the keepers, drop the best lines into your task app or doc, delete the rest. The point isn't to hoard every thought. It's to rescue the ones that matter. Isn't this just more to do? Not really. It's not about doing more. It's about removing the moments where ideas leak away. It's the same time you already spend forgetting. Only now it pays you back. Try it in different zones of your life. Planning a tough conversation. Capture the kind, direct sentence you want to lead with. Cooking. Say the tweak that finally made the sauce sing. Fitness. Record the cue that fixed your form. When you hear your own voice hand you a ready-made line later, it feels like a small miracle, but it's really just a system you set once and keep reusing. One more tip. When an idea shows up, don't explain the whole thing. Name the hook, name the why, name the next step. Hook. Start with the problem. Why? Trust. Next step, draft intro. That's enough to relight the fire when you return. Will every note be gold? No. But here's the quiet win. You become someone who doesn't wait for inspiration. You collect it, you keep it, and that changes what's possible tomorrow. One tap, one breath. Idea saved, future you smiling. This tiny habit grabs the thoughts you usually lose, turns them into usable pieces, and closes your day with a little more confidence and a lot less, "What was that thing again?" That's a small change with an outsized ripple, the kind that leaves you lighter, clearer, and ready for the next spark. The laziest habit I ever built made me faster than my most hard-working self, and it starts with a single keystroke. Copy. Here's the move. When you face a blank page, don't start from scratch. Start from yourself. Grab the last thing you made that's even close. Duplicate it, then tweak until it fits. It feels almost unfair, like walking onto a moving walkway while everyone else is sprinting, but it's just you reusing your own proven structure. Is that cheating? No. It's iteration. It's how craftspeople work. They keep patterns, molds, templates, because the shape is the hard part. Once the shape exists, you can colour it any way you want. Think about it. The email you wrote last month. Same bones. The slide deck from last quarter. Same flow. A chunk of code, a recipe, a workout, a budget. Same rhythm. When you copy your past work, you skip the slowest steps. Deciding the order, naming the sections, wrestling the opening. You rescue those invisible hours you used to lose to anxiety and guesswork. Here's the twist. Copying doesn't make you generic. It lets you be specific faster. You're not cloning. You're compressing the boring parts so your brain can pour energy into the details that matter right now. A quick run-through of how I do it. I keep a gold pile of my best stuff. Emails that landed, proposals that closed, scripts that sounded clean. When a new task shows up, I ask, what did this look like the last time? I duplicate that file, retitle it so it's fresh, then strip out anything too specific. Names, dates, numbers, examples, out. I keep the skeleton. Next pass, I swap in the new specifics. Then I do 2 reads, one for logic, one for voice. Logic answers, does this make sense? Voice answers, does this sound like me today? But notice this, the danger isn't plagiarism, it's staleness. So I force one small change to the structure every time. New opener, different order, a sharper close. That tiny twist keeps the work alive and prevents quiet copy-paste errors. Worried you'll miss something? Add a red flag line at the top while you edit. Update all dates and names. Then delete it at the end. It's a little speed bump that saves big embarrassment. I learned this the hard way. I once spent 3 hours building a deck from nothing. The next week, same style of deck, and I thought, wait, didn't I just make this? I copied the first one, tweaked the flow, swapped the examples, changed the ending. 15 minutes, same quality, more calm, and I still had energy left to polish the story. So the next time you stare down the blank page, skip the heroics. Copy your last best version, then tweak until it sings. This is the shortcut that saves those invisible hours and gives you something better. Confidence. Here's a weird superpower most people ignore. Stop before you're finished. Sounds wrong, right? We're taught to wring the day dry, to keep pushing until the tank is empty. But what if the smarter move is to park on a win, then walk away? When things are going well, your brain is warm. Ideas are flowing. The reps feel light. That's exactly when you leave a little gas in the tank. You close the laptop while you still want one more line. You hang the towel when you know you could squeeze out one more set. You step away while your mood is up, while the story, the code, the workout still feels like a win. Why? Because tomorrow will meet you mid-stride. Momentum loves a rolling start. Quit on a high note and your brain saves that bright echo. You'll sit down the next day and feel the pull, not the push. Here's how it sounds in real life. You're drafting a paragraph that finally clicks. Don't empty it out. Leave a clean, obvious next step, like a bullet you'll expand. A note that says, start with the bold line about trust. Then close the doc. You're at the gym and everything's popping. Stop one set early, rack the weights and tell yourself, I could have done more. That feeling matters. It makes tomorrow feel easy. Studying. Park on a highlight with a question mark. You'll come back curious. Cleaning the house. Leave the basket by the door, ready to go with the next room written on a sticky note. Working through emails. Finish the tricky one, then leave one easy reply waiting. So you open the inbox and win in the first minute. And here's the twist. Don't just stop. Stage tomorrow. Leave tools out, lined up for takeoff. A water bottle filled. The file open to the right page. A single sentence waiting at the top. Next step, outline section 3. It's tiny, but it's a runway. Friction drops. Resistance fades. You start fast because the start is already done. Isn't that quitting early? No. It's quitting strategically. It's leaving breadcrumbs for your future self. It's choosing to protect momentum instead of burning it to ash. Think of it like a favourite song that ends just before you want it to. You replay it. That urge to continue is the point. Park on a win and your brain becomes that replay button automatically. So, today, don't wait for the slump to stop. Stop at the peak. Capture what worked. Jot the very next tiny action and walk away smiling. Then watch what happens tomorrow. You'll sit down, you'll see the breadcrumb, and you'll slide right back in, sharp, eager, ready, because you parked on a win. Here's a little cheat most people miss. Don't wait for morning motivation. Borrow it from the night before. When you plan tomorrow, tonight, you remove the tiny frictions that slow you down. You wake up and the first moves are already made. No debate, no drama, just glide. Think about how many small decisions pile up before breakfast. What to wear, what to eat, what to tackle first. Each one sounds harmless, but together they're heavy. That weight is resistance. And resistance loves early hours, so you beat it while it's sleeping. Before bed, make tomorrow's first moves so simple they're almost silly. Lay out the outfit, shoes included. Set a glass of water by the sink. Put the bag by the door, keys on top. If coffee matters, set it up so one button brings it to life. These are tiny nudges, but tiny nudges turn into early wins, and early wins turn into momentum. What about work, creativity, study? Whatever matters most. Write one ridiculously small starting step on a sticky note and leave it where your morning eyes can't miss it. Not finish the project, just open the dock. Not run a mile, just stand by the door with shoes on. Make the step so easy it would feel awkward to avoid. That's the point. You're letting action lead, not motivation. And here's the twist. Decide the first song, the first timer, the first scene. Open the tab you need. Place the book at the exact spot you'll sit. If your phone steals your morning, put it in another room, on airplane mode, with a label on your alarm that tells you what matters. Breathe, drink, move, then start. You're preloading your runway, so takeoff is smooth. Why does this work? Because mornings are fragile. You've got limited willpower and a brain that's still warming up. Planning at night shifts choices from groggy you to calm, thoughtful you. Calm you sets the stage. Morning, you just steps onto it. Worried it'll feel rigid? It won't. You're not scripting your whole day. You're just removing the first hurdles. After that, momentum takes over. The hardest part of any day is the start. Once you're moving, it's easier to keep moving. Want your morning to feel lighter? Do a 2-minute reset tonight. Clear the visible clutter, prep one healthy thing, and decide the tiny first action that actually matters. Leave yourself a note that feels like a friendly nudge, not a drill sergeant. Add something delightful, a playlist, a scent, a clean countertop, so your morning greets you with ease, not noise. Then sleep. Let the plan hold you. Wake up to a path, not a puzzle. That's the shortcut. You don't wait for willpower. You create a slide. And when your day starts on a slide, everything after feels like gravity helping you along. Here's the strange truth. The best lunch is the one you barely think about. Not the trendy bowl you hunted for. Not the mystery leftovers you gamble on. Just a simple, chosen once, repeat forever lunch. Why? Because every midday choice steals a little focus. You scroll, you compare, you talk yourself into something bigger, pricier, slower. Meanwhile, your energy drips away. A default lunch plugs that leak. Think of it like a uniform for your plate. Pick one meal that's cheap, quick, and satisfying. Then make it your weekday autopilot. A turkey wrap with greens and mustard. a bean and rice bowl with salsa and a squeeze of lime. Greek yogurt with fruit, nuts, and a drizzle of honey. Nothing flashy, just dependable. Doesn't that sound boring? Here's the twist. Boring on purpose buys you freedom. When lunch is handled, your brain gets a breather. No decision fatigue, no menu roulette, no what if I choose wrong anxiety. You win back minutes, and over a week, that becomes almost an hour. You save a few dollars each day, and over a month, that's a quiet stack of cash. And the best part, you never miss that time or money because you stopped spending it in the first place. Make it frictionless. Keep the ingredients stocked or set a standing order. Pre-chop on Sunday, so weekday, you just assemble and go. Store a mini kit at work, hot sauce, olive oil, a little salt, so you can turn the dial up or down. If you eat out, pick a spot that always gets it right and walk in like it's a done deal. Worried about taste fatigue? Do a 2-option rotation. Same base, different vibe. Turkey wrap one day, hummus veggie wrap the next. Rice and beans on Monday, quinoa and chickpeas on Wednesday. Or add flavor switches. A spoon of pesto, a handful of pickles, a sprinkle of chili flakes. Tiny edits keep the mouth happy while the habit stays locked. What about nutrition? Choose a combo with protein, fiber, and color. In plain English, something that fills you up, keeps your blood sugar steady, and doesn't crash your afternoon. If you're unsure, pick a default that makes you feel steady 2 hours after eating. Not stuffed, not starving. That's your signal. Set a simple rule. Weekdays are default, weekends are freestyle. On weekdays, you don't negotiate, you execute. It's your grown-up cheat code. Pick your default lunch today, text it to yourself so it's real. Tomorrow at noon, skip the scroll, eat what you planned, and get back to the stuff that actually matters. Simple, predictable, and quietly powerful. That's your shortcut. What if your to-do list stopped living rent-free in your head by this afternoon? There's a quiet little trick for that. Batch every errand into one power window, run the loop, and reset your brain's background noise to silence. You know that constant hum. Drop this off, pick that up, return the thing, grab the prescription. It's like a song stuck on repeat. The Batch-Errand Shortcut cuts the loop. You gather the clutter of open tabs in your life, then clear them in one decisive pass. Start with one messy master list. Everything that's hovering, groceries, post office, tailoring, returns, donations, the light bulbs, the birthday card. Don't filter yet, just get it out of your head and onto paper. When you see it all in one place, your brain can finally exhale. Now give it a stage. Choose a single window, maybe late morning, maybe after work. Not a whole day. A tight block with a start and a hard stop. Think of it like a sprint, not a marathon. That time cap is your engine. Make an errand bag. Receipts, return labels, tape, a small Sharpie, a pen, a foldable tote. Toss in a snack and a water. Add a couple of pre-stamped envelopes if you need them. Little frictions kill momentum, so remove them. Map a loop. Clockwise, counterclockwise, doesn't matter. Cluster locations so you aren't zigzagging. Put the stop that tends to suck time, like the big box store near the end. And here's the twist. If a place looks slammed, skip it and loop back only if time allows. You're in charge of the clock, not the other way around. Give yourself 2 rules, 1 loop. No detours. If something tries to hitch a ride, text from a friend, sudden impulse, park it on next week's list. This is focus time. This is get it done time. Add a tiny reward. Coffee at your favourite spot when the last receipt is stuffed away. A walk in the sun. 5 quiet minutes in the car with a good song. Your brain loves closure and it loves a treat even more. Worried about forgetting something? Snap photos of the list and the route. Set gentle reminders. Leave at 10. Check freezer bags at the grocery. Grab the package by the door. You'll feel guided, not micromanaged. What about things that don't need you? Push them online. Schedule a pickup for donations. Order the bulbs for delivery. Call the pharmacy ahead. The point isn't to do more, it's to do less, smarter. Here's the best part. When you get home, the house is the same, but you aren't. The returns are gone, the packages are sent, the pantry's stocked, the mental tabs are closed. That low hum, off. You've bought yourself days of quiet with one clean sweep. Pick your window, pack the bag, run the loop. Come back lighter, like you just deleted a heavy app from your mind and reclaimed your battery for what actually matters. Your to-do list is lying to you. It says, do everything. The truth? A small slice does almost all the work. That's the shortcut. Find the vital few, ignore the noisy many, and you'll get most of the results with less effort. Here's the idea, simple and kind of shocking. In almost any area, work, health, money, learning, about 1/5 of what you do creates about 4/5 of what you get. It's not magic, it's just how effort clumps. A few clients drive most revenue. A few habits drive most energy. A few conversations transform most relationships. So, how do you spot the few that matter? Use a quick filter. Ask, what tiny action moves a real result? Not a feeling of being busy, an actual outcome. If you're building a project, what single step would make the next steps obvious? If you're overwhelmed, which task, done today, would make the rest easier or unnecessary? Here's a simple daily flow. In the morning, pick your 3 needle movers. Not 10. 3. The ones tied to real outcomes, shipped drafts, scheduled meetings that matter, workouts completed, money decisions made. Then block one focused sprint, even just 30 quiet minutes, and hit the biggest domino first. After that, protect a stop doing list. If it doesn't move a needle, it doesn't get prime time. Notice the rhythm there. Choose less, go deep, cut the rest. What about the stuff that still nags at you? Emails, pings, little chores. Batch them. Give them one tidy window, then shut the door. Busy work expands to fill your day, unless you compress it on purpose. Here's the twist. The few things that matter often feel a bit uncomfortable. That's a clue. The call that might get you a yes or a no. The draft that risks feedback. The workout you don't want to start. Lean into those. That's where the leverage hides. And this isn't just for work. For health, sleep, protein, daily movement, those 3 alone shift most of your energy. For learning, focused practice, tight feedback, spaced repetition. Watch how fast you improve. Worried you'll miss something if you say no? Ask yourself, if I stop this for a week, would anything break? If not, it's probably noise. If yes, it might belong in your vital few. Here's a 1-week experiment. Every morning, write down one meaningful outcome for the day. Just one. Under it, list the smallest action that directly creates it. Do that first. Before the scroll, before the swirl. Track nothing else but outcomes shipped. By the end of the week, you'll feel the shift. More progress, less grind. The shortcut isn't about being lazy. It's about being precise. Less scattered effort, more focused power. Pick the few that matter. Give them real attention and let the small stuff be small. You don't need more time. You need more courage to choose. That's the 80-20 shortcut. Simple, repeatable, and a little bit brave. Here's a quiet magic trick. Wear the same outfit on repeat, and people stop seeing your clothes. They start seeing you. It sounds backward, right? You'd think repeating an outfit makes you stand out in a dull way. But the opposite happens. Repetition turns what you're wearing into background music. It fades into the room, so your ideas take the spotlight. That's the shortcut. Not to be boring, but to be invisible where it doesn't matter. Think about someone who always carries the same mug or uses the same pen. You don't notice the object after day one. You notice the person. Clothes work the same way. When your look is steady, same silhouette, same colour family, same vibe, people's brains stop checking what you're wearing and start listening to what you're saying. So how do you pull this off without feeling stuck? Pick a uniform that feels like your best self on a good day. A shape that flatters you. A fabric that behaves. A colour that plays nice with your skin. Keep the outline the same. Then have small swaps ready. Textures, subtle shades. A different pair of shoes when you want a little lift. That's the trick. The frame stays. The details can dance. Worried you'll be pegged as unoriginal? Ask yourself what you'd rather be known for, your shirt or your sharpness, your jacket or your generosity, your sneakers or your results. Repetition is a filter. It screens out the noise. So the signal, your work, your words, your presence, comes through clean. There's a hidden bonus. Decisions eat energy. Every morning you spend deciding between outfits is attention you can't spend elsewhere. When your outfit is already chosen, you buy back tiny slices of brain power day after day. Those slices add up. Before long, you've got more room for the call, the pitch, the lesson, the laugh. More room for life. And here's the sweet paradox. When you repeat an outfit with intention, it stops being a costume and starts being a signature. It's like your personal logo you can wear. Not loud, not flashy. Just consistent enough that people feel your presence before they clock your clothes. Try it for 1 week. Choose one simple uniform and rotate it. Fresh versions, same silhouette. Notice how you move through the day. Notice what stops tugging at your attention. Notice what suddenly feels lighter. Boring? No. It's strategic. It's permission to spend less on appearance and more on impact. It's the shortcut to making your choices invisible. So your character, your craft, your voice can be the thing that shows up, loud and clear, every single time. Picture walking into any room with a secret teleprompter already in your head, feeding you the next smooth line before you need it. That's the shortcut. Memorize a few social scripts, and your brain stops panicking. It has a plan. Predictable beats shrink the unknown. And when the unknown shrinks, the anxiety shrinks with it. Start with an opener you can use anywhere. Keep it light and specific, like, "Hey, I'm Alex. I noticed you were checking out that display. Worth it. See the structure." Warm greeting, your name, a tiny observation, a simple question. It's a fill in the blank. Swap the display for the coffee, the playlist, the jersey, the view. Same rhythm, new details. Now a follow-up, because the second line is where most people freeze. Try. That's interesting. What made you choose that? It invites a story. Stories keep the conversation moving without you juggling topics. Need a pivot when the small talk drifts? Use a soft bridge. By the way, I've been meaning to ask, or I'm curious. Then drop a topic with substance. When you say, by the way, your voice gets permission to change lanes without sounding abrupt. Here's a boundary script for pushy moments. I appreciate the invite. I'm going to pass this time, but thank you for thinking of me. It's clear, kind, and final. If they push again, repeat the same line. No new words, no new holes. An exit script saves you from awkward endings. This was great. Going to say hi to a friend before I head out. Nice meeting you, Jamie. Notice the name at the end. Names stick the landing. Worried it'll sound fake. It won't, if you practice until it sounds like you. Say the lines out loud while you're making breakfast. Record a voice note and tweak words you'd never use. Keep the bones, change the clothes. Here's a quick toolkit you can memorize today. Compliment plus curiosity. Your jacket's sharp. Where'd you find it? Mirror, then move. You're into hiking? Same. I usually hit the trails near the lake. Got a favourite? Graceful? I'm flattered you asked. I can't commit right now. Rescue line when your mind goes blank. Give me a second. I had a question and it totally ran away. Ah, what brought you here? And here's the twist. Scripts don't cage you, they free you. They're training wheels for your voice. Once your nerves drop, your personality shows up. What's the point of all this? Control. When you know your first line, your brain stops spinning and starts listening. Listening makes you likable. Likable opens doors. Pick one situation you'll face this week. Meeting someone new, joining a group, saying no. Memorize one opener and one exit. Rehearse them twice today, once tomorrow. When the moment comes, you'll feel it. A quiet click. Less anxiety. More choice. And the conversation finally feels easy. Imagine your mouse slipping through a hidden door and coming out on a whole new canvas without you moving an inch. That's what a second monitor feels like. Not a gadget. A portal. It takes the work you already do and spreads it out so your brain has room to breathe. Here's the shortcut. One screen becomes your stage, the thing you're actually working on. The other becomes your quiet wing. Reference, notes, calendar, a timer, the stuff you need in view, but not in your way. No more shuffling windows. No more, where did that tab go? Your eyes flick, your hand follows, and suddenly your day has less friction and more flow. Will it really make you faster? Think about how often you switch. Copy from here, paste to there. Scroll, tab, scroll again. Every tiny switch steals a little focus. With a second monitor, those switches happen with your eyes, not your mouse. That shift from clicking to glancing adds up to real time. Minutes each hour, hours each week. It doesn't just boost productivity, it boosts calm. Less clutter on one screen means more focus on the other. Setup is simple. Plug it in, choose Extend Not Mirror, and nudge the displays in settings so the edges line up. Put them at the same height, about an arm's length away. Match the brightness and warmth so your eyes don't notice a jump. If you read long pages, try turning one screen vertical. It feels weird for 5 minutes, then it feels brilliant. Don't overthink the gear. An older monitor works. A small television works. Even a tablet can become a lightweight second screen. This is about space, not status. You're buying mental room. What lives on the second screen? Park your inbox and leave your main screen sacred for deep work. Or flip it. Keep communication central and your task list always visible on the side. Keep a mini calendar pinned, a notes app, a reference doc, a timer. And here's the twist. Silence notifications on the side screen when you need to go deep so the quiet wing stays quiet. Make it a ritual. In the morning, open the same layout. Work on the left, support on the right. At the end of the day, reset to clean. That small habit keeps your environment on autopilot, so your brain saves energy for the hard parts. It feels like cheating because it kind of is. You get speed without more effort, more clarity, less chaos. Borrow a screen from a friend, test it for 3 days, and see if your day doesn't stretch wider, easier, calmer. If you hate it, unplug and move on. If you love it, you just found the simplest unfair shortcut to win back time. Borrow 10 minutes, buy back 10 hours. Sounds outrageous until you try it. Set a simple intention. Reset, not grind. You're not hustling harder, you're clearing the fog. Wherever you are, desk, couch, parked car, this works. First, create a tiny bubble. Phone face down, alerts off, door cracked or headphones on, give your brain a signal. Nothing else gets in. That single boundary is your on-ramp to calm. Next, water, a slow sip, then another. If you can, splash your face or rinse your hands with cool water. It's a little switch for your nervous system, like tapping the brakes before a sharp turn. Now breathe. Try this. Sharp inhale through the nose, then a second small sip of air to fill the top of the lungs. Long exhale through the mouth. Do that 5 times. It's a built-in pressure release. Shoulders drop, jaw loosens, thoughts stop tripping over each other. Open your body. Roll your shoulders back. Tilt your head side to side, slow circles with your neck. Reach your arms wide like you're trying to hug a sky you can't quite touch, then relax. A doorway chest stretch, a gentle twist in the chair, ankles moving. When the body opens, the mind follows. Light matters. If there's a window, face it. If you can step outside, take a minute and let natural light hit your eyes, not staring, just present. Light tells your internal clock, hey, we're awake again. Add a pulse of movement. 60 seconds of something big and simple. Slow squats to a chair, wall push-ups, marching in place. Feel the blood come back online. This isn't a workout, it's a spark. Clear the visual noise. Put 3 things away. Wipe the surface. Toss the scrap paper. When your space quiets down, your brain stops fighting it. Now, grab a pen. 3 quick lines. 1 win you've already had today, even a tiny one. 1 worry that's chewing at your focus. 1 next action, small enough you could start it in 2 minutes. Wins fuel confidence. Worries lose their teeth on paper, and next actions end the swirl. Plant your next move. Set a gentle cue, soft music, a timer, or a phrase you like, something that means go. Stand up, shake your arms, smile on purpose. Feel silly? Great. That's a pattern interrupt. It tells your brain, new chapter, last breath in, longer breath out. Whisper the word you need, calm, focus, courage. Let it land. That's your 10-minute reset. It's a shortcut because it multiplies energy, not effort. 10 minutes to strip away noise, refill the tank, and point yourself at what matters. Ready to steal your day back? Take the first sip, turn the phone over, and let the reset begin. Now. What if your day could tap you on the shoulder, not yank you by the collar? Most of us treat alarms like fire drills, loud, jarring, impossible to ignore. They get our attention, sure, but they also knock our thoughts over like dominoes. Here's the shortcut almost no one uses. Make your alarms invisible. Not louder, quieter. Not more urgent, more gentle. Think of an invisible alarm like a lane marker on the road. You don't stare at it, but it keeps you from drifting. Same idea here. You set cues you can feel or notice without breaking your flow. Haptics on a watch, a subtle light shifting on your desk, a playlist that changes when it's time to switch gears, calendar blocks that advance automatically with no pop-up screaming at you. It nudges, you steer. Psychologically, a soft cue invites a response instead of triggering a reaction. You stay engaged, not defensive, which keeps focus intact while still moving you forward. It's the same principle behind building healthy habits. Keep the cue clear, keep the friction low, and you'll follow through without the fight. Here's what it looks like in real life. You're in deep work. Instead of a neon banner flashing across your screen, your watch gives a single quiet tap at the half hour. No buzz, no ding. You glance once, finish your sentence, and land the thought. 2 minutes before your meeting ends, Your desk light shifts from warm to cool. That's your wrap signal. You say, all right, last point, and you actually end on time. As the call ends, your Notes app opens automatically with a tiny vibration. Send the recap now. You type 3 lines and hit send. That tiny sequence saves you the scramble later. Another example. You want to stretch, drink water, and check priorities midday. Instead of stacking 3 noisy reminders, you anchor them to one silent moment. When your lunch playlist switches from mellow to upbeat, that's your cue. Stand, sip, scan the top tasks, and slide back into flow. No flood of alerts. No attention hangover. And here's the twist. Invisible alarms aren't just breaks. You take at the end. They're part of the system. Built-in pauses help you make better decisions and prevent burnout because you're not white-knuckling your way through the day. You're pacing it. How do you start? Pick 3 anchors you already do every day. First coffee, the last 5 minutes of a meeting, the moment you sit back down after lunch. Attach a quiet cue to each one. A single haptic, a light shift, a song change. Then tie one tiny action to each cue. Review your next block. Wrap the call. Stretch and reset. That's it. Small, repeatable, almost invisible. Will you miss the drama of loud alerts? You'll miss the chaos, not the clarity. The unfair edge isn't more willpower or more hours. It's designing your day so time taps you. You look up and you're already one step ahead. Calm, clear, and moving. That's the invisible alarm. Here's the weird truth. Giant goals hate crowds, but they adore pairs. So give your biggest dream only 2 things to focus on and watch it stop fighting you. The 2-step shortcut starts simple. First, name a finish line you can actually cross. Not a foggy wish, not a vague someday. A clear, testable end you can point at and say, done. Think short, real, concrete. Instead of get in shape, it's run for 20 minutes without stopping. Instead of write a book, it's draft 1 messy page that moves the story forward. A finish line isn't the whole mountain. It's the next bright flag you can see from here. Second, choose the smallest starter move that makes crossing that line almost automatic and put it on the clock. If it takes under 5 minutes, even better. Shoes by the door. Document open. Timer set. A call started. When the starter move is tiny, your brain says yes before fear can vote. Sounds too simple? That's the point. Big goals fail because they ask for everything all at once. 2 steps ask for less, which means you'll do them, and doing them builds momentum. Momentum is the secret engine. It turns small into steady, and steady into finished. Picture it. You want to learn a language. Finish line. Hold a 3-minute conversation about your day. Starter move. Cue up a short lesson. Press play while your coffee brews. By the time the mug is warm, you've already started. Starting is the hard part. Once you're moving, you keep moving. You want to declutter your place. Finish line, 1 clear nightstand. Starter move. Set a short timer. Toss anything you haven't used in a year. That tiny action flips your environment from stuck to shifting. And once one surface is clear, the next one practically asks for it. You want to grow savings. Finish line. Set aside a small cushion this month. Starter move. Automate a weekly transfer that's so small you'll barely notice. When it's automatic, willpower can rest and results still stack up. Here's the twist. If you stall, the steps were too big. Shrink the finish line, shrink the starter move and try again. No drama, no guilt. The goal isn't perfection, it's motion. And when you cross that finish line, do the same thing again. Name the next clear end. Pick the next tiny start. 2 steps, looped. That loop turns a scary marathon into a series of short, doable walks. If you're waiting to feel ready, that feeling is hiding behind step 1. Name the next finish line you can cross today. Then pick the starter move you could do before the kettle boils. 2 steps, that's the shortcut. That's how big finally becomes doable. Your toothbrush has been trying to teach you a life hack every morning. It repeats the same move at the same time without thinking. That's your shortcut. Habit stacking is simple. You don't wrestle a new routine into your day. You hitch it to something you already do without fail. Not discipline, but design. Attach the new to the known, and you lower the friction until progress feels almost effortless. Here's what it looks like in real life. You finish brushing, that's your anchor, and immediately fill a big glass of water. No debate, no scroll, no negotiation. The toothbrush hands the baton to the glass. Or you press the coffee maker and, while it hums, you do 10 slow squats. Coffee finishes, you stop. The point isn't intensity, it's linkage. The action rides the trigger. Why does this work? Psychologically, you're plugging into habit loops. Cue, routine, reward. So your brain does the heavy lifting. When a new behavior follows a familiar cue, it stops feeling like a choice and starts feeling like the next step. And here's the twist. You don't need a giant habit. Micro stacks are the secret. After you close your laptop for the day, you write 2 lines about what tomorrow needs. After you set your phone to charge at night, you read 1 page. After you put on your shoes, you step outside and take 3 deep breaths. Tiny, almost laughable, but linked. The cue makes them automatic. The reps make them real. What if you never had to feel motivated to get the important stuff done? What if the boring parts of progress just ran in the background? Pick anchors you never miss. Brushing, boiling water, unlocking the front door, buckling your seatbelt, starting the shower. Then attach 1 clear, low-friction action that takes under a minute. Say it out loud so your brain hears the recipe. After I pour my coffee, I review my top 3 tasks. After I end a meeting, I stand and stretch. Speak it, stack it, start. You'll notice something within a week. Less mental tug of war. Less negotiating with yourself. Because the stack isn't asking, do you want to do this? It's saying, this is what comes next. That shift matters. When the decision is baked into the sequence, your energy is saved for doing, not debating. If you fall off, don't rebuild motivation. Rebuild the link. Return to the anchor that already happens and clip the habit back onto it. Missed a day? The anchor is still there tomorrow, waiting. That's the beauty of stacking. It's stable. It's forgiving. So choose 1 anchor you already do daily. Choose 1 tiny habit you want. Chain them in that order. Then let the routine carry you. Not by force, by default. Not by willpower, by design. And when that small chain holds, add 1 more link. Start light, stack tight. Let improvement become automatic. I've got a quiet trick that flips a switch before the world even looks your way. Call it the automatic gratitude shortcut. It starts with a simple line you say under your breath, the instant you notice yourself doing something that future you will benefit from. Thanks me. What if the person who deserves your thanks most is you? Sounds strange at first, right? We're trained to send gratitude outward, to the friend who texted back, the barista who smiled, but the tiny choices you make when nobody's watching, those are the invisible gears that turn your whole life. Thanking yourself keeps your gratitude honest, because it isn't for show. It's a private nod to the moments that actually move you forward. Here's how to make it automatic. Pick a few daily anchors you already touch. The light switch, the door handle, the toothbrush. Every time your hand hits one, catch a small win and tag it with that line. You refilled your water before a meeting. Thanks, me. You stood up and stretched instead of scrolling. Thanks, me. You closed the laptop at a reasonable hour. Thanks, me. It's like setting your phone to vibrate instead of ring. Quieter, but still a signal. In practice, it teaches your brain to notice your own effort without waiting for applause. And here's the twist. This isn't about pretending everything's perfect. It's about accuracy. You're not giving yourself a trophy. You're acknowledging the truth of what you did, even if no one else saw it. That honesty builds momentum. It turns good choices into a loop your mind wants to repeat. Stuck in traffic, and you breathe instead of boiling over. Thanks, me. You answer the tough email with clarity instead of delay. Thanks, me. You walk past the sink and wash the bowl now, not later. Thanks, me. Will it feel corny on day one? Maybe a little. Then it starts to feel like relief, because you're no longer waiting for someone to notice how hard you're trying. You're noticing it. That shift protects your energy. It also makes you kinder to others, weirdly enough, because you're not running on empty chasing gold stars. If you want a nudge to remember, pair it with a tiny touch. Hand to heart. Fingertips to the edge of the counter. A soft exhale. The gesture becomes the switch, and the sentence becomes the current. Try it for one day. Whisper it 5 times, 10 if you want. Count the tiny wins you'd usually ignore. And when your head hits the pillow, see how it feels to fall asleep, knowing you got real with your own effort. That's the shortcut. Quiet, repeatable, and yours. Thanks you. What if your future self never had to clean around that thing, because that thing just didn't exist? Here's the shortcut. Declutter once, the right way, and you'll stop cleaning the same mess over and over. Not more bins, not fancier folders, fewer things that create work. You remove the source and the chores shrink with it. Start with the spots you dread. The kitchen counter that breeds piles. The bathroom shelf that collects half-used bottles. The chair that turns into a closet. Stand there, look at everything, and ask a simple test. Would I spend real money to bring this back into my home today? If the answer's no, it's gone. Decision made. That one decision deletes months of wiping, sorting, shuffling. Here's the twist. Don't organize first. Organizing is rearranging future work. Decluttering is erasing it. When the extras leave, organizing becomes quick, obvious, almost boring. Pick one room. Give yourself one afternoon. Then use these fast moves. Create a launch pad by the door. One hook per person. One tray for keys and wallets. One shallow bin for incoming mail. That's it. When there's only one place for each category, it can't explode across the house. Set container limits. One shelf for mugs, one drawer for tools, one clear bin for kids' art. The container decides how much is enough, so you don't have to. When it's full, that's your cue to release something. No debate, no guilt. Kill duplicate drift. Keep your favourite spatula, your best pair of scissors, your comfiest set of sheets. Let the spares go. Duplicates multiply chores because they spread out, hide in corners, and demand to be washed or put away. One great version beats 5 just in case. Flatten dust traps. Clear the tops of dressers and the space under beds. Fewer surfaces, less dust, faster cleaning. If something sits there only because it's always sat there, it's a chore in disguise. Give everything a home you can reach in one step. Lids with pots, batteries by the flashlights, sunscreen with the beach bag. One-step homes are like frictionless lanes. Things glide back without effort. Add an exit box near the door. Anything you're done with goes straight in. Donations, returns, hand-me-downs. Empty it every week when you do groceries. Outbound flow stays simple and automatic. Worried you'll miss something you gave up? Set a 90-day grace rule. Box it, label it, date it, and tuck it away. If you don't need it by then, you won't. Release it with peace. And here's the payoff. With the extra gone, you'll notice silence where there used to be nagging tasks. Fewer dishes to shuffle, less laundry to battle, shorter wipe downs. You're not getting better at cleaning, you're making less to clean. Declutter once, and your home becomes self-maintaining. Not perfect, just lighter, easier, enough. The work you don't have to do every day. That's the real shortcut. The smartest shortcuts don't appear on your keyboard. They come from your past self, tapping you on the shoulder, saying, "Hey, we've done this before. Make it easier this time." Here's the move. The second time you do something, you've earned a template, not later. Right then, take what you just did, strip the specifics, save the bones, and name it so you can find it fast. That tiny pause today turns repetition into automation tomorrow. Think about all the places this fits. The welcome email you keep rewriting, the meeting agenda you rebuild every week, the packing list you Google from memory, the report outline you retype line by line. Create the first one with care. On the second pass, stop and save as template. It's not laziness, it's systems thinking. Here's the reframe. You're not saving minutes, you're buying back attention, and you'll spend that attention on work that actually moves you forward. Here's what it looks like in real life. Your friend texts, "Can you send that client intro again?" You open the last one, replace the names, tweak the timing, hit send. But before you close, you duplicate it, remove the specifics, add placeholders, client, offer, deadline, and save it under client intro template. Next time it's a 2-minute edit, not a 20-minute rewrite. Do that once with invoices, travel checklists, slide decks, even your weekly meal plan. The moment you notice a pattern, capture it. Psychologically, your brain loves patterns because patterns lower decision load and reduce friction. Less choosing means less stalling. Habits stick when the next step is obvious and easy. Templates make the next step obvious and easy. That's why this feels like a cheat code. You're turning willpower into a path of least resistance. A few pro tips. Give every template a verb, forward name, start project, follow up warm lead, run one-on-one. Add a one-line note at the top. Use when a new client signs. Attach pricing sheet. Keep placeholders loud and bracketed so you can't miss them. Store templates where your hands already go. A pinned notes folder, a favorites bar, a text expander shortcut. And here's the twist. Each time you use one, refine it. Remove a step you never needed. Add the step you always forget. Your templates evolve so your work speeds up without getting sloppy. Ask yourself this and let it sit for a second. What if the second time you do anything, you automatically template it? Because that's the shortcut most people skip. They chase new tools, new hacks, new apps, but miss the simple habit that compounds quietly. Template it once, and your future self says thank you every single time. It's a small act of kindness to yourself. It cuts the noise, it calms the mind, it frees your focus, and it turns repeat into reuse, reuse into routine, routine into something almost automatic. Save as template is how you turn repetition into automation. That's the shortcut. Give your attention a door you control and watch everything else speed up. Here's the shortcut. Block a quiet hour on your calendar every day. No debate, no drama, just a solid wall. The block does the talking so you don't have to. It's boundary without a speech. It's grace without confrontation. Why does this work so well? Because most chaos isn't loud, it's sneaky. Little pings, quick favours, surprise invites that nibble away at your best minutes. You don't need to fight people to stop it. You just need a rule your calendar enforces for you. Pick a time that matches your energy. If your brain wakes up fast, take the first hour. If you hit your stride after lunch, plant it there. Label it clearly. Heads down, deep focus, no scheduling. Whatever makes people pause. Set it to recurring. Mark it busy. Let auto-decline handle anything that tries to sneak in. Now the system is your shield. What do you do in that hour? One thing. Not 5, not a dozen tabs. One meaningful task that moves your day. And here's the twist. This isn't just for work. Use it to plan your week, reset your space, breathe, stretch, even think. Quiet is a tool. Quiet pays you back. Worried about exceptions? Create a simple escape hatch. If something's truly urgent, give your team one clear path. Maybe a shared word like read via text. If you see that, step out. If not, the block stands. People respect consistency. They lean on the patterns you set. How do you get others on board without a confrontation? You don't sell it. You show it. Keep the block, keep your tone calm, and keep delivering results. When someone asks to meet then, say, I am heads down at that time. Could we do right after? The message lands without heat. Over a week or two, the edge disappears. The boundary becomes part of the landscape. Will it feel strange at first? Sure. Your reflex will be to fill it, to pick up, to peak. Sit with the quiet anyway. Breathe once, twice, 3 times, then move. You'll watch the meter on your focus climb and your stress drop. Here's the best part. After a few days, you'll notice finished beats started. Tangled tasks finally untangle. That idea you've been chasing clicks into place. You'll end the day thinking, I actually did the thing I meant to do. That feeling is momentum. That's the payoff. So open your calendar now, pick the hour, name it, lock it in. Treat it like a meeting with your future self, because it is. And if you miss it one day, slide it later. Don't skip, shift. The quiet hour isn't selfish, it's generous. It gives you focus, and it gives everyone else your best work. Call it a boundary, call it a buffer. I call it an unfair shortcut to a calmer, faster life. What if the strongest coffee is silence? Here's the shortcut. Block one silent hour on your calendar every weekday and guard it like a meeting with the most important person in your life, because it is. Set it to repeat. Give it a bold name, something like silent hour or deep work, so it stands out. And when the clock hits that time, everything else goes dim. Silence here isn't just no music. It's no pings, no tabs, no quick peeks at messages. You step out of the chatter the way you step out of a noisy room and close the door behind you. That door matters. You'll feel your brain stop ricocheting and start landing. What happens in that hour? One thing. Pick the task that, if it moved even a little, the rest of your day would get lighter. Draft the proposal. Map the strategy. Learn the skill you've been dodging. The rule is simple. Single lane, one destination. When your mind tries to wander, and it will, jot the stray thought on a sticky note and return to the lane. Make it frictionless. Before the hour starts, set the stage. Fill your water, silence your phone, clear your desk. Open just the files you need. If you can, go analog for the tough thinking. A pen and paper pulls you deeper than another glowing rectangle. If you can't, full screen the work and hide the rest. You're not denying yourself. You're removing static. But I already run on caffeine. Great! Keep your latte. This is a different fuel. Caffeine pushes your body. Silence pulls your focus. After a few sessions, you'll notice the mental noise dialed down. You'll finish the hour calm, not wired. That calm is what lets you do 2 hours of work in one. Can't find a full hour yet? Start with 30 minutes. Build the muscle. Don't wait for the perfect day. Perfection is a trap dressed as productivity. Just pick a time, morning before messages flood in, lunch when everyone's distracted, late afternoon when your energy dips, and make it yours. Protect it with tiny scripts. If someone tries to book over it, say, "I'm heads down then, does later work?" If you share a space, give a visible signal. Headphones on, door half closed, a small sign that says focused. Teach your world how to treat your time. And here's the twist. The real win isn't what you do in that hour. It's who you become after it. You'll re-enter the noise centered, clearer, a little more decisive. Your yes gets sharper. Your no gets kinder. The rest of the day starts bending around what actually matters. One silent hour. On the calendar, repeated. It sounds almost unfair, because it is. Try it 5 days in a row and listen to the difference. Not in your playlist, in your mind. Picture the quiet moment when the laundry hums, the inbox sleeps, and the calendar hasn't started yelling yet. That tiny pocket of calm on a Sunday, that's your hidden lever. Here's the move. Give yourself 2 plans. Plan A, the ideal week, and Plan B, the safety net that catches you when life throws elbows. The magic isn't about doing more. It's about releasing pressure so the week feels lighter, smoother, kinder. Why does this work? Choice is calm. When you know there's a backup, your brain stops bracing for impact and starts moving with confidence. Psychologically, having options creates a sense of safety. It lowers pressure and softens the edges of stress, which makes you more open, more flexible, more resilient. Try it in a tiny, almost boring way. You map Monday like this. Wake up, quick workout, clear the top 3 tasks, cook dinner. That's Plan A. Then you quietly build Plan B. If the alarm fails, you'll walk during lunch. If the meeting runs long, you'll focus on 1 task you can finish, not 3. If dinner gets derailed, there's a simple backup in the freezer, or a 10-minute eggs and toast and fruit dinner that still feels like care. You're not lowering standards, you're lowering panic. Here's the twist most people miss. Plan B makes Plan A more likely. When you remove the fear of, if this goes wrong, everything's ruined, you move with more ease. You start on time because you're not tight. You recover faster because you're not rattled. And small wins stack because you didn't let one wobble define the day. Build it like a Sunday ritual. 5 quiet minutes, then 5 more. Name your big rocks for the week, then name the soft landings beneath them. If the workout falls through, a stretch and a brisk walk still counts. If a creative block hits, you've got a backup list of simple tasks that need doing. If a tough conversation gets delayed, you'll leave a kind voice note and reschedule on the spot. Notice the rhythm? Plan A reaches. Plan B reassures. You can do this with meals, with money, with kids' schedules, with focus. The trick is small and specific. A packed lunch and a backup snack, a calendar block and a shorter version, a bold goal and a minimum viable step that keeps momentum alive. And when you hear the voice that says, "Isn't this overkill?" smile. This isn't overkill. It's armor you barely feel. Ask yourself right now, what's one thing I want this week? What's my best version? And what's the light, mercy-filled backup? That's it. 2 plans, 1 calm nervous system, and a Sunday that whispers, you're covered. Let the week get loud if it wants. You've got choices. You've got room to breathe. And in that quiet, you'll find the shortcut most people overlook. The simple backup that makes your main path not just possible, but peaceful. Picture your reply sitting in a waiting room, tapping its foot, while your feelings cool the coffee. That little delay? That's the shortcut. Most of us feel the itch to answer fast. To be quick, clear, decisive. But speed is a liar when emotions are loud. The smarter move is a quiet buffer between what you feel and what you send. Psychologically, that pause creates safety, lowers defenses, and makes real conversation possible. Here's what it looks like in real life. A text lands, "Why didn't you loop me in?" Your chest tightens. The hot reply forms, "I did, maybe check your messages." Instead, you type, "Got your note. I'll circle back this afternoon," and you set the phone down. In the gap, the heat drains. You remember their week's been rough. You see 2 better angles. Share context without blame, or set a quick call. Either way, you're steering now. Another scene. A teammate in a meeting takes a shot at your idea. Your brain wants to clap back. You breathe, sip water, jot a line. Later you say, "You raised a good point about the timeline. Here's how I de-risk it." You didn't swallow your stance. You changed the moment. Even pilots and surgeons rely on structured pauses to make better calls. So can you. Why does waiting work? Emotion is like a storm, loud, blinding, short-lived. The pause lets the weather pass enough to see the road. And here's the twist. Your silence isn't weakness. It's leverage. When you don't rush, the other person feels acknowledged. You access better words, and the outcome tilts your way. This is the reframe that matters. Not react now, but respond later. Make it a backup plan you can trigger on autopilot. When you feel the spike, buy time with 1 line. Let me think on this and get back to you. Move your body, walk to the sink, touch a door frame, reset your nervous system. Draft the message you want to send, then don't. Read it once through a friend's eyes. Trim the blame. Keep the facts. Name your intention. If it still stings, wait a little longer. Your future self will thank you. 2 questions to keep handy. What's the outcome I actually want? What words move us toward it? Say those and only those. You'll notice something over time. People start mirroring your calm. Tense moments soften faster. Conversations feel like you and me against the problem, not me versus you about the past. That's the compound interest of the pause. Trust that grows because you choose response over reflex. So keep your shortcuts simple. Wait before you reply. Let emotions settle. Turn that quiet into clarity and that clarity into results. The backup plan isn't backup at all, it's your edge. Freeze the moment, not your life. That's the trick. When the urge flares up, reply now, buy now, snap back now. Let a quiet voice step in and say, "Not yet." Here's the shortcut. Don't respond yet. Not to the text, not to the email, not to the craving, not to the scroll. Give it a breath. Give it 2. Give it the space that turns a reflex into a choice. That tiny pause is an unfair edge because most people sprint with their impulses. You'll walk with your intention. Why does it work? Because you're not fighting yourself, you're helping your future self. Think of that person as someone you love. They're tired at the end of the day, they're juggling a lot, and they could really use a favour. When you wait a few beats, you're not withholding pleasure, you're gifting clarity. Discipline stops feeling like punishment and starts feeling like generosity. Try this in the smallest way. Your phone pings and your thumb hovers. Whisper, "Not yet." Breathe out slow. Ask, "What would future me thank me for?" If the answer is wait, then set a tiny delay. One song, one short walk to refill your water. 1 minute with your eyes off the screen. The urge will soften even just a little, and that little is everything. And when you do respond, because you will, it's with a cooler head, cleaner words, and fewer messes to mop up. That's the hidden payout. Less backtracking, fewer apologies, more choices you actually stand behind. You can sweeten the pause too. Pay yourself for restraint. After you hold back on the late night snack, make tea you really love. After you step away from the impulse buy, drop a few dollars into a treat later jar. After you don't clap back in anger, text one kind sentence to someone who matters. It sounds small, but it trains your brain to link waiting with reward, not with loss. That's how habits stick. What about the moment that feels urgent? If it's truly urgent, you'll know. Emergencies don't shrink when you breathe. Everything else can afford a handful of seconds. Let the wave pass, then choose. Choose with intention, not adrenaline. Build a simple cue to make it automatic. Hand on the doorknob? Not yet. Keys, wallet, plan, cursor over send? Not yet. Reread, remove the spike, then go. Standing in the kitchen at night? Not yet. Water, brush, lights out. A few tiny rails keep you on the track. This isn't about being perfect. It's about being kind. Every pause is a small note that says, "I've got you," to the person you're becoming. And over time, that kindness compounds into calm, into confidence, into the kind of days that feel lighter. So the next time the moment grabs you by the collar, smile and say, "Not yet." Give yourself the breath, the beat, the little gap where wisdom fits. Your future self will call it a gift, and they'll be right. What if the fastest shortcut wasn't learning more, but forgetting faster? Most of us carry yesterday like an overstuffed backpack. Old wins, old mistakes, old grudges, all strapped in tight. It feels responsible, even noble. But here's the twist. Motivation hates clutter. When your mind is packed with stale stories, there's no room for a fresh spark. So here's the shortcut. Forget faster, reward your future. Not ignore, forget. There's a difference. Ignoring is denial. Forgetting on purpose is a skill. It means you extract the lesson, then you let the emotional static drain away so your next move has space to breathe. Start small. When something goes right or wrong, say archive, out loud or in your head. That one word is a mental shelf. Then capture one sentence, the lesson you're keeping, just one. Not a page, not a speech. One sentence that would help a friend. Once it's written, you're done. Lesson saved, rest discarded. That's forgetting faster. Now, create a 30-second reset. Stand up, roll your shoulders, look at something far away, breathe out longer than you breathe in, and tell yourself, next play. Athletes do this. They can't drag the last shot into the next one, neither can you. Want to lock it in? Bribe your future self. Make the next action hilariously easy and slightly rewarding. Set the document you need as the only thing open. Place your shoes by the door, socks inside, keys on top. Put a small treat, tea, a song you love, a walk in the sun, right after the first tiny action. Future you should feel like you left them a gift with their name on it. Worried that forgetting means you'll repeat mistakes? Here's the truth. You're not erasing wisdom, you're clearing weight. The lesson stays, the noise goes. Wisdom without weight is momentum. When you catch yourself replaying the old clip, success or failure, smile, say archive, then shift your eyes to something new. Think in verbs, not nouns. Move, write, call, stretch, send. A verb steals attention from a spiral. If you like tools, make a next sticky and slap it where you work. The rule is simple. Every time you hesitate, read the sticky, say next play, and do the smallest honest step, not the best step. The next one, small steps are compound interest for courage. And here's a quiet hack. Rename distractions. Move those endless apps into a folder called Later. Put your one key tool front and center. Your thumb becomes your ally, not your enemy. Will this make every day perfect? No, but it will make the bad moments shorter and the good moments easier to repeat. That's the point. Shorten the hangover, lengthen the run. Forget faster, reward your future. Leave a clean counter for motivation to land. Then watch how much lighter the next step feels. Quick thought experiment. If your brain was a phone, how many random tabs are open right now, and how fast could you swipe them away? Here's the shortcut. Forget faster, on purpose, so you can remember what matters. Not by trying harder, but by offloading and releasing. Your brain hates open loops. That's why small, unfinished things keep circling back at 3 a.m. So give them a landing pad, one capture, one place, a tiny note in your phone, a pocket notebook, a voice memo you actually check. When a thought pops up, text your cousin, cancel that trial, buy more coffee, drop it there immediately. You're telling your brain, it's safe, it's parked, you can let it go. Then, later, confirm and clear. Ask 2 quick questions. Will this matter in a week? Can I do it in under 2 minutes? If yes, do it now. If not, schedule it or archive it. And if it's noise, delete. Out loud, say released. It sounds silly, it works. That word is a thumbs up to your nervous system. But here's the twist. Forgetting faster isn't only about tasks. It's about pruning attention. Move the apps that steal your focus off your home screen. Turn off the pings that add nothing. Unfollow the accounts that make you feel less. You're removing easy hooks so your brain has fewer places to snag. Want a stronger reset? Pair a tiny physical cue with the mental release. Shake out your hands. Exhale for longer than you inhale. Touch the door frame as you leave a room and think new scene. A small ritual is a bridge. It carries your mind from one state to the next. For sticky worries, give them a container. Set a 5-minute worry window on a timer. Let the anxious thoughts talk. Write them down, then close the page and close the window. When they try to crash your day later, you can say, we have a time for that, not now. Names slipping. Attach one vivid tag and one action. Sarah with a silver scarf, sending the recipe. Say it once, picture it, and follow with a tiny action that same day. Your memory loves a hook and a movement. Will you forget a few useful things too? Sometimes, yes. That's okay. The goal is not a perfect archive. It's more space, more calm, more energy for the stuff that moves your life forward. So try it today. Capture the loose ends, confirm and clear. Prune the hooks. Add one release ritual. Small moves repeated, and your mind starts to feel lighter, like stepping out of a crowded room. That feeling, that's focus. That's freedom. That's your forget it faster shortcut.